Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I'm looking for a sound clip, which I thought would be quite good today, and it was going to be a newsreader one, but I can't find it. So if I did have it, oh, here it is. Listen to this. News to hand. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll turn that off. We can't have too much fun. But the developments of Goliath Ventures and what's been happening lately. Well, it's starting to turn into a bit of a circus show. I'll be the first to put my hand up after seeing what I've been witnessed. Yesterday, I heard that there was a meeting with lawyers advising that they're not going to go after the partners, which is absolutely batshit crazy. Imagine, just from, this is off the cuff, but imagine here that you've got a guy that's allegedly taken $328 million from people. And the lawyers have already told everyone that they won't be going after the partners. Now, he's been charged in connection to a criminal crime, hasn't even been proven guilty in court yet, even though we all have our suspicions. And here's lawyers already arming up, telling people they're not going to go after the partners. So how red-faced are the lawyers going to be when they start seeing criminal charges being laid against the other partners in the company that were to do with this? Now, before I read my notes and go into this, I want you to take this in with a grain of salt. Chris, we've even got documents that haven't even hit the press yet. Well, they have been distributed through a network called Local Avenger Network, have been sharing government documents that have been shown around of the assets that Christopher has technically handed over. Now, if you don't know some certain things, Christopher voluntarily handed himself in, and he had actually been helping with the investigation weeks before he was charged criminally. Other things you may not be aware of, people are trying to figure out where all the money is. If you put all your money in the bank, have you ever tried to put a large amount of money into crypto? Your bank will normally yell at you, telling you they're not going to let you do it. So the money that is theoretically sitting here in a pile of $328 million has actually been filtered through. The majority of that money has gone through the banks. Now, what you won't know, and you wouldn't have been told by anybody, over 2.5 months ago, my Avenger Network heard that they had seized the bank. They have, what do? They put in a request to the bank to hand over all the transactions. So this hasn't happened just in the last week. So over 2.5 months ago, even 3 months ago, or even a bit more, the special agents that were investigating Christopher had access to the bank accounts. So everyone's asking where the money is. Well, I can tell you where the money is. This is just my off the cuff here. If Christopher has got around about $6 or $7 million worth of, let's say, material assets that they have seized back, including cars, you've got people like Matt Burke, who decided it was a good idea just to buy the neighbor's house. Or he decided to do $1 million worth of upgrades on the house and has been buying property left, right, and center. We've got Piers Curry, who was a registered financial advisor with no registration. And these guys are nowhere to be seen. Now, we know that Piers Curry had put all his money into Goliath, and he was about to take a whole big chunk of it out to buy his dream house. We've got Nick Petrillo, who now lives in an $8,500 mansion with his wife that's about to give birth to his third son. And we know that he's also got a mistress. I don't know how that works. Nick, which we're going to show you in this video, has also been switching the license plates of his vehicles. Just in the last 24 hours, we can see updates in the car register thing. And we're going to show you evidence of this as well. So these partners, we're talking about Alex, who's actually smashed his car. He smashed the front of his Lamborghini. Ooh. And I don't know how that's going to help when the repos come along and get your car there, Alex. But all this news is coming in in the moment. And I want to go through how much money. So just imagine there's 18 people that have actually committed fraud. And there's 18 people out there that have made excess of $5 million. Now, that's close to 5 times 20 is nearly $100 million. So that's lifestyle money, isn't it? And then we've got Christopher spending money like it's water, pissing it away, $2,000 bottles of champagne and water guns, spending $100,000 in a night, just one night, flying to Thailand for the electric concert and paying $150,000 for tickets. We know there's airlines out there that have been providing him travel in their Lear jets, and he owes one of them that we know of $723,000. Now, they are not cheap things to basically go after. The girlfriend, her handbag collection, we've heard that she is now lawyered up. She's gone and got herself, Ty has gone and got herself a lawyer. I'm getting messages from her friends telling me that they need to go after the handbags that she's got, because some of them are worth $40,000 or $50,000. If Chris has got, the car collection, if he's got the houses he's bought, if he's got the assets in Dubai, do not listen to a lawyer who tells you that he's only going to go after Christopher. He's only going to go after the bankers. He's only going to go after the accountants. He's only going to go after the insurance companies. You don't want that lawyer representing you in your losses. So yesterday I managed to get a list of people's phone numbers, 125 people that were in a WhatsApp group who have been given advice that this lawyer is only going to go after Christopher and Goliath, because there's a major conflict of interest here. If a lawyer isn't prepared to go after the partners, then you need to find yourself a new lawyer. Now, what disgusted me about yesterday's lawyers meeting, because people have been asking me, is that this lawyer, the majority of people in the meeting were all under Punic Shore. And they come, what we could figure out, most of them had come from the Indian Chamber of Commerce and also the Chamber of Commerce in Canada. So Punic Shore has recruited over 500 people into Goliath. And now his best friend has rallied together a few people and says, we're all in the same boat. And we need to go after Chris because he's got a pile of $328 million just sitting there doing nothing. If that is your way, that is your life raft, and is that, your strategy to grab the first lawyer that comes along who says, we have saved people $50 million in the past, you need to wake up. And then I get messages back from people saying, well, what do we do? Well, what do you do? What do you do when you've participated in a too good to be true opportunity and you've handed over hundreds of $1,000s to a guy that's pissed it all away? Do you spend your time in the queue doing a class action lawsuit against these guys? Do you think being in the queue with a lawyer that hasn't even contacted me and asked me for my opinion on where the money is? I've been investigating this with my team of Avengers since the 1st of September. They had tried suing me in the state of Florida to shut me up. They had staked out my neighborhood. They sent private investigators down from Auckland, which is about 1,100 kilometers away, to stake out my neighborhood to find out where I live. And then knocked on my door. And I thought they were people from the FBI who've just got a nice office here in New Zealand. But it wasn't. It was private investigators who had come around to negotiate a deal with Goliath. They had previously, in writing, and it's on my blogs, if you haven't read all my blogs and all the documents that we've put accessible on my website, which they have been doing denial server attacks. They had sent 2 months worth of denial server attacks on my website trying to take down my website. because we've been exposing this scam. Okay, so they sent these men around to give us another offer. And I said, I'm not prepared to listen to any offer unless I can record it. They said, we're not letting you record it. So I had my phone and I recorded it in my pocket. We talked to these guys. They would not give me the offer, and they would not talk to me with my cell phone in my pocket even. So I walked them off the street and I told them that they are working for the devil. How do you sleep at night? These guys have stolen mum and dad investors' money. These people have gone after people's 401ks. I said, you are working for people that are thieves, common thieves. How do you feel at night? I got right into their faces. No, I mean right into their faces, and I told them what I thought about them. And Stephen Davis, the fireman, the fire chief, self-appointed fire chief, because he's not really, he's just somebody who fights fires in the wood, I think, and he's not a fire chief. Anyway, he was telling me that they sent these guys around to see me. And we know through correspondence and other details that they admit that they sent these guys around to negotiate with a YouTuber on the bottom of the planet who's dyslexic, who can hardly read or write, can hardly barely say Christopher Delgado's name, and we've taken them down. Good on us. So thanks for me letting my personal rant. I'll try to get back into the script here, but if you're wondering where the money's gone and you're wondering what to do, there's no real rush, because the only thing what we really need to do is to go after the partners. We need to name and shame these individuals that are running or promoting these Ponzi schemes or scams. And you need to wake up and realize that these lawyers that are not going after the partners, even making that statement at this early stage, they don't even know what's really going on. They haven't done any investigation into Goliath Ventures. They're making assumptions. And I'll be honest, when we first started this investigation, we made some assumptions. Now, this is one hell of a network of companies. And the different companies are interwound with Goliath Ventures. These guys have been trying to hide this money. And when you see Nick Petrello in his $8.5 million house switching license plates on Lamborghinis and super trucks that even I don't know what they are, which I'll show you in a few minutes. Well, I'll show you some of this now. Let's have a look. So this is the registration of a 2022 Lamborghini, and I'm not a car guy, right? But if you look at the license plate number, there is so this is one car, and anyone that's a guru will be able to look at this, and this is another car, which we believe is Alex's car because of the color. And if you look at this plate of this car, it ends with 544, and this is a Lamborghini car. If you come here, this is a STO, and that plate is on here. If we come here, this plate here, Florida plate, I haven't even checked this one here. I don't even know where that goes. So what's this? I don't even know what sort of truck that is. So that's a Mercedes, is it? And you'll see this plate is now on here. This is Alex's car because he smashed it up. Don't know what was going wrong there, Alex. Maybe you were a bit stressed and you weren't watching the road. Other things while we're here, I've just got some funny things here. If you're on the way to Disneyland, I've heard that they've still got billboard advertising on here. And so they're still advertising. Imagine losing all your money to Goliath Ventures and then driving to Disneyland to have a bit of a break, which I didn't get to go see when I was in Florida. But I didn't inherit a legacy. I built one, Christopher Delgado. Delgado, getting closer. And then another one that we've seen is this one here above the service station. And these are actually live now. So people are taking photos of these for us, and it's quite funny. Alrighty, so let's get back to my script. Now, also, Susie's put in the chat room, there is actually a WhatsApp group where we're actually here to help people. So let's just say the people that we've reached out to on your cell phones through iMessage, I've done that directly. A lot of people think it's not really me, but I have been contacting you directly. People ask me, what do I get out of it? Well, I get nothing out of it. I'm not ever going to ask you for any other money. You can support me in what I do by going to my YouTube channel. And thank you to the two people that send me a $25 coffees and I think a $28 coffees. It was much appreciated. It's really nice. So you can do that via my website. It's not rocket science. You can do it anonymously, and that keeps the show rolling. Now, financially, I'll be honest, I don't even mind showing you how bad my finances are at the moment. I am going backwards financially fighting this Goliath Ventures thing. I've had to spend a lot of time and energy, and it's not just me, guys. We've got a team of Avengers. We've got some intel, which is so amazing that I can't even tell you. And there's some things that are happening in the pipeline that I can't even tell you. But this is just the beginning. So please, please, please do not listen to the first lawyer who tells you that he has managed to get $50 million back from the banks because they made a stuff up. There may be some situations there where you've made a payment into a bank, and we do have, our team of Avengers do have correspondence from people alleging that somebody was doing some illegal activity in the banks. Now, we'll need to dig that information out, find out where those sources are. But if we can find a smoking gun from one of the banks that we believe, and we've got those smoking guns, I'm actually amazed that the lawyers don't reach out to us and ask us for help in providing the evidence where we can actually show that some of these banks have done shady practices. Because if these banks haven't done anything wrong, then there's no point a lawyer that doesn't understand what this scam is actually all about, fighting a battle with half cocked. And we're just saying hold five. I mean, Christopher was only charged, last week? And all of a sudden we've got class actions flying up here, there, and everywhere. And on Friday, my Friday, your Thursday, I've actually got a meeting that's going to happen, which is all about helping people who want to speak out. Because I still cannot comprehend why people want to remain anonymous. So we will have this window here, and this is live, and it will be in 46 hours time from now. So do your maths on that one. That's 2 lots of 24. Is that right? 2 lots of 24. Well, I don't know when it is. But anyway, 1 p.m. So it will be an hour and a half ago in 2 days' time. Work that out. But we are asking people who want to come. So in here, in this photo here, what do you see? Do you see people who are victims? And if you do, you need to go and stand in front of the mirror and slap yourself until you wake up. These people have been warned by my team of Avengers since the 1st of September. We have been chasing these people. We have been phoning them. We have been calling them out on social media. I have put my reputation on the line going after these guys. Even Fabian here on the left-hand side. Hunter Smallback. His mother's disgusted in what Christopher has done to her son. All these people in this photo, except I'll give you one, Vince Goliath. He's already claimed he was a victim about 5 or 6 weeks ago. Actually, he claimed he was a victim around about the 5th of December. And I know for a fact that he's been talking to some producers trying to get a story out about how he's a victim. And he didn't realize that Christopher can actually pull money out of his ass and make a lot of money for everybody. So there's a thing called willful blindness. And that's where somebody can knock on your door and hand you a pile of money. And they say, do you mind storing this in your spare bedroom? And you go, okay. And you put it in there. And then the next day they knock at the door again. They give you another bag of money. And then you just say nothing. You just keep taking these bags of money and you never start to ask the question, where's this money actually coming from? Because you've been watching the news and they're talking about how these banks are getting stolen around Orlando, for example. And you just turn a blind eye to it because you don't want to know, because every time they hand you a bag of money, they give you rewards. And the rewards are really nice, but you're not really worried about the money because you just put it in your wardrobe. And if anyone knocks at your door, you're just going to say, oh, I have no idea, but I have got rewards from it. Now, Nick Petrillo is the only person doing a lawsuit claiming he's lost 40 million roundabout dollars and hasn't invested a dime. Nick Petrillo hasn't invested a dime, but is requesting that Goliath pays him $40 million. Do you hear what I'm saying? How's that possible? Because that is the rewards that Christopher was meant to pay him under contract for recruiting people into Goliath. Now, do your maths. We heard rumours that Nick Petrillo has recruited 900 people into Goliath. 900 people. We have heard rumours that Punic Shaw has recruited 500 people into Goliath. Now, I've heard rumours that these young fellas, some of them are getting 30 grand a month just chucked into their bank account for rewards. So my team of Avengers haven't sat here and said, oh, that's not very good. We've gone out there and named and shamed, as we do. I usually start off when I was calling myself the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. I used to say, hi, my name is Danny Heck. I'm the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. I'm here to name and shame anyone running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. We name and shame these individuals. We take the risk. Last year, I received 6 lawsuits. A couple of them with defamation, a couple of them from idiots who didn't know the arse end of a lawyer. I always represent myself, by the way, because that means I can be part of everything and I can be in the Discovery Channel. It's quite good, actually. I'm not a lawyer, but hey, it's a lot of fun when you're left school at 14 and you've got a reading level of a 9-year-old representing yourself in a high court. But last time I got to high court, I actually did have representation, I must admit, but they dropped the case an hour and a half before it went to the high court judge opened the file. And the same with Oliver Berman. They decided it'd be a good idea to file a discontinuance for the lawsuit. Well, guess what's going to happen with that? That's not a good thing, because that lawyer yesterday said he's going to go after the lawyers that looked after these individuals. They're going to go after the accountants that looked after these individuals. They're going to go after the banks that turned a blind eye to all the money coming in and out. These individuals here are what we need to do. We need to go after these guys. And you really, really do. Now, remember, we've got a WhatsApp group that you can join. You will be scrutinized. We're not going to let you guys, because the next thing is every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to come to you and they're going to be telling you they can help get your crypto back. Now, this is where the shit hits the fan. Now, you will not believe this. And you heard it here first. Goliath Ventures is not a crypto company. They are not a crypto company. They were running a straight Ponzi scheme. That means that they go out there and they raise money for investors. They told people that they were doing liquidity pools. Now, there's only been $1.5 million theoretically gone into the liquidity pools. And another investigator that I know, he tracked $29,000 that had ever gone into liquidity pools. There's some money on Coinbase, but not a hell of a lot. The majority of money has gone into fiat currency, into bank accounts. And the FBI that had access to the banks, and we know when they subpoenaed the bank records, because I was there, have had access to those banks for at least 3 months. Let's say around about there. I haven't got the exact date, but don't quote me on it. But I know it's been 3 months. So all the money that has come in from Goliath has been tracked. Where it's gone, I'm pretty sure it's been tracked as well. Now, I've got my suspicions that every single one of these partners that you saw on the screen has probably got their own crypto stash, but they haven't been doing anything in crypto. One other thing that was interesting, which I do want to show you, if I can bring that up. I'll just see if I can bring this up, because I was talking about this morning with one of my lovely Avengers. But they did talk about, and we're going off my script here, which is probably dangerous, but that's okay. But there was a company out there that we reached out to, which in a few minutes, these videos will probably disappear. Here it is. Let's have a look at this. Now, you'll be amazed by this. Now, if you haven't watched this before, this will blow your socks. Now, this is the web development company that seems to have done the videography, or maybe built the website for Christopher that you saw taken down the other day. I can only assume this is the case, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the money. Now, we reached out to this company, and as soon as I went to their LinkedIn profile, before I even had a chance to look at it, he had blocked me from even communicating with the guy. These are the videos of what they were claiming they were going to do. Now, just before I hit play on a couple of them, have a look at this here. This is a container. Now, they had this idea when they were doing, I think it was My Liquidity Partners, and they were going to do what they call water-cooled crypto mining. And I heard that they had buildings. I heard that they had a container that they could sell for $250,000, and the container was digitally broken into 10 different parts, and they could go out and get investors for each. And the company that was behind it was based in Dubai. Now, this concept was great, and I believe that they went out there and they started looking for investors who may be actually interested in investing in the water-cooled mining that these guys were claiming they're going to do. Now, remember, when you're on Christopher's website and you look at their team, they also had on the homepage of the website, which I don't know if I can get to in a hurry, they basically had these. I will get here because I think it's quite relevant. Let's have a look at that. I don't know if we'll get lucky enough to actually load up the homepage, but on the homepage, you've seen it in all the news articles. Goliath Ventures lost the G in Goliath Ventures. That's no good. So I think if we go to one of these ones. So when you went to the homepage of Goliath Ventures, there was a video that used to play, which doesn't seem, oh, it might want to play. I think we might want to play. I think it's going to play. And the video that was going to play was basically the state of the art crypto water cooled mining. Here we go. So these videos that you're looking at right here were actually somebody else's videos. And what I'm about to show you is the company that actually had the before and after videos. And they've edited the videos and put Goliath's names all over them. Also, in the Sentinel newspaper, they talk about how they had a crypto operation in Dubai. We haven't got any proof. We would like to know how the Sentinel newspaper actually found that out, because we haven't got any proof. But anyway, let's have a look at these videos here. Oh, what happened here? To verify, yep. So this is the concept. Now, I might have to turn the sound down, but you'll get the idea. All right, so these are the water-cooled mining computers, and I've turned that down, but it's still got a bit of sound. And look at the state of the art. These images look too good to be true. But basically, they were providing, and you notice that they've got Goliath Ventures logo burnt on top of it, like it's theirs. It's not theirs. So these are just bullshit. This is somebody else's videos. Now, you might think, how do we know that? How can we verify that? Well, that's a good question. And look, here's the real company behind it. So I don't know if you noticed that. I'll just go back a little bit. But there is Maze. So we reached out to Maze and we asked them what their connection is with Goliath Ventures, and we've got crickets. You know, we can only do so much of an investigation. And then when we looked at other things, we thought was quite interesting. So this is actually a bridge. But if you look at it carefully, this was all those videos that you just looked at were put on there 13 months ago. And then all of a sudden, 8 months ago, there was this video out there. And I'm thinking that they're going to use this video and chop it up and do another video to give the illusion that they are expanding. And I'm just putting 2 and 2 together and making 4. But look at this video here. So if you didn't know anything, now, if you were a videographer and you got this video and they said, right, here's a video that we don't know where it is. We want you to chop this up and we want to use it to give the illusion that we're actually going to do, some form of expansion with our water-cooled mining. This would be the ideal video to do that with. So that's my take on that. And you can agree or not. Now, look at these other videos. Let's have a look at these. Some of these are just priceless, just saying. But you can see what they were trying to do. But look at there's some of the original videos where they haven't edited Goliath's name out of them and left the originals. So there's the one that's on. See, this has been, this is somebody else's video that they've actually put their name all over. And they never did any water-cooled mining. So as I've said before, these videos are not showing us that they had water-cooled crypto mining. These are videos that have been plagiarized and they've stuck their logo on it to give you the illusion that this is them. I don't know if I don't know if I can say that any better. I'm not reading the chat room. But let's, I'm just seeing what we've got here. I'm just seeing if I can go back. So I just want to find another one because some of these is just so good, too good to be true. I'm just seeing if we can find another one. But anyway, I would recommend if you're a reporter or you're building up any knowledge base on Goliath Ventures and you want to see where it goes, because there's that beautiful logo that everyone just loves. Strategic investment in the crypto liquidity pool sector. Okay, so DeFi liquidity pools. There's got no sound on here. That's not music, I think.
Recognizing this potential, Goliath Ventures embarked on a strategic journey to invest in this sector, capitalize on burgeoning opportunities while navigating inherent volatility and risks.
Did any of you guys actually ever see these videos? Was this the first wave of promotion?
Liquidity pool sector as an underexploited area ripe for growth. Their objective was to diversify their investment portfolio, reduce systemic risk.
I'm just going to get rid of that music. You can play music for 7 seconds.
DeFi platforms. The chosen sector within the crypto.
So this is just this is just propaganda stuff. These guys just hired a videography company to make up what they were doing. I'd never seen
significant growth potential.
I've never seen these videos anywhere. Maybe they were on the DeFi part of the website. I just never seen them anywhere. But we've been busting scams for ages. Every time we see a video like this, we actually go numb to it because it's just we see it all the time. Anyone can produce this video. Anyone can put their logo on it. But there's no proof.
And robust.
I mean, look at this royalty-free footage. I mean, come on, guys. Is this the veneer that you got told that these digital images were proof of concept? This is
key performance indicators were set to measure.
This is what, this is child's play for us. I'm not being mean, but this is the sort of videos that we get of all the scams that we go after. And we currently got 200 scams. If you go through YouTube, you'll find hundreds of videos like this. You'll even find the same sort of graphics. So I just wanted to show you that. Anyway, without doing that, I'm going to put that link in the chat room. Now, we know it's a small community. We know it's a small community. These 10 videos have been here. I'm going to just play one more. For a while. Now, we know that they're scrubbing videos off the internet, and I'm surprised these videos are still here. But they are. And I think this one might have been the original one before they put Goliath's name on it. So let's just have a look and see what happens. So this was a whole video, which I don't think they had any. Yeah, they do have sound on it. So this is like the original video, right? And this is the people's original video before they plagiarized it and put Goliath's logo all over it. And then I sat here and watched this one day and I'm looking at this going, oh, this is interesting. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then I got to this part and then I went, boom, who's this company? And we've obviously reached, and they're based in Dubai. Now we've heard from literally a billionaire lady who used to socialize with Chris. And I said, are you familiar with this company? And she said, I were aware that they were in talks with a company that was doing water-cooled mining. But I know for a fact that it never got off the ground. And she said, Chris never pitched it to me. And she was a billionaire lady. I've got the correspondence and she was very helpful and I thank her very much. But the company behind the concept of doing water-cooled mining is Maze. We make mining cool. And that is a different company altogether. But when you see the original photos and images and whatever, and then you see that Christopher's come along and slapped his name on it, that's the only proof that we have that Christopher has anything to do with crypto. You have been told a lie by Christopher, and there is no such thing as anything crypto. Liquidity pools. Okay, I'm trying to reach out to Andrew Tate. If anyone knows Andrew Tate, I want to talk to Andrew Tate. Because Andrew Tate, oh, look, if you don't know Andrew Tate, look, it gets better. Let me help you with this one. So Andrew Tate, this is a video put together, and this is promoting the warroom.ag. And these are 3 cruise ships that were in Croatia. And on these 3 cruise ships, you've got Mike, Chris, and Tomo. And Tomo is theoretically one of 33 speakers that get to speak to people in the war room. And if you don't know it, you can actually see, I think it's about 113. I've done this so many times, but if we go to 113, we'll get rid of that music for a start. And there it is. So there's Tomo, Christopher, and Mike. Now, we have heard that Andrew Tate doesn't want anything to do with Christopher, because he asked Christopher the good old question that a lot of good business people do: how do you make the money? And he must have realized, because Chris wouldn't have told him, and we've heard that Andrew Tate doesn't want anything to do with the Goliath boys, and literally had kicked them out of the war room. So you're asking, who is the war room? Well, the war room is Andrew Tate's baby. So Andrew, if you're watching my video, which would be very nice if you did, I would love to know more about why you don't seem to be having anything to do with Christopher and his boys, because most of the men that are in the war room don't want to be public. It's like a gentleman's club that is above the law, or maybe they just want to be private. I'll let you draw your own conclusion. If you come down to the bottom here, you can see the type of organization. So Tomo posted out a lovely thing, which I can't bring up, which I might be able to bring up actually in a minute. I'll just have a wee look. But Tomo put out a lovely post a wee while ago telling everyone how he was so proud to be invited to the as one of the speakers. I don't have it after all that. I don't know what I did with that. I'll just have a wee look, because I might have put it somewhere else. Images. Hold it 1 minute, please, caller. I'm sure I kept it. I've got your slippers. Some of the stuff I've got. Oh, you just can't make this shit up. Tomo travels first class, right, to New Zealand. It cost him $22,000. And we noticed that he had, I'm just going to see if I can put this on the screen pretty quick. I can't show you what I'm doing because it's, I've got too many people. But let's have a look at this. It's going to let me do it. Hold it 1 minute. So this is Tomo traveling to New Zealand, I believe, to intimidate me, to go talk to a soft drink company, which I reached out to. They told me to F off. And he's saying bye-bye Orlando, and he's on the way to Auckland. And then down the bottom here, we realize he's got his slippers. These are $2,500 slippers, we believe. I think they're Gucci slippers. Anyone that knows Gucci, I don't know Gucci, but I was told, somebody said they are very expensive slippers, and they've highlighted that. We can even see he's in first class. He's got his man bag. He's got his set of drinks. He's living the dream. So, this is where your money's gone, guys. So Tomo, we've reached out to his business partner. He's got a doctor who keeps the clinic going. What do they call it? The rejuvenational clinic. And we've asked him to come forward to us and spill the beans. Well, he hasn't done so. So unfortunately, mate, your time is up. But there's a doctor that runs the aspiring rejuvenational clinics. He's opened up a new clinic in Pennsylvania. I reached out to him yesterday or the day before, asked him if he wanted to help us with our investigation, because these guys are where your money's gone. Now, if every one of these guys have hid money in crypto, they've held it in their LLC companies and the like, it's pretty amazing. Now, I don't know if Susie's managed to find that picture for me. She may have done. What is she doing, sweetie? Thanks. What have we got here? I've got some more stuff. I just want to see if I can find that image, because it pisses me off that I can't. I can't find it. Tomo. No, I thought I had it handy. I'm just going to go and find. I'm just going to have a look through some other images here. Clicked on the wrong button. Just 1 minute, please, caller. Don't go anywhere. I know where you live. Well, I don't really. But anyway, I'm getting it. Goliath Ventures, screenshots. Ooh, maybe Susie might be able to find that one I'm looking for. But there was a image where basically he was so happy, so happy that he was Learjets, investors, Zoom meetings. Anyway, what my point was, I probably can show you these ones. I'm going to show you these ones. I'll just make sure I'm not going to incriminate anybody. All right, so over here, we've got all the photos that were taken off Goliath Ventures website. So there's a lot of photos here that were on Goliath Ventures website. These are the, and I think we really need, what picture am I looking for? I'm looking for the picture of Tomo when he was skiting that he was one of 33 speakers on Andrew Tate's building. Andrew Tate's war room, because I think that's quite relevant, because I do want Andrew Tate, anyone that knows Andrew Tate and you have a contact, please ask him to reach out to us. We would love to know the real reason. We heard that he didn't want anything to do with Christopher because Christopher wouldn't tell him how he was making all this money. And at the same time, this was in October when they were on those cruise ships, which I didn't really show the end of. He actually lost, they tracked $1 million was lost with Andrew Tate doing leverage trading. And at the same time, that's when payments stopped in October. So what I believe is if there was any money in crypto or they were using money to make themselves crypto, probably personally, not for Goliath Ventures, that if he was shadowing what Andrew Tate was doing, he would have also lost the same money to leverage trading. And we have heard from the grapevine that Andrew Tate isn't the best trader in the world, and he actually makes his money from selling courses to young people who want to learn how to do crypto trading. And that's how all these people do make a lot of money. You've got Grant Cardone selling courses. I'll put Tony Roberts in there. I'm not admitting they do anything wrong. I'm just saying Tony Roberts is all about, raw. And then you've got people like Patrick Ben-David. Now, the funny thing about Patrick Ben-David, we have seen he had a cubicle outside the event where they had a stand promoting Goliath Ventures. So I don't know the laws in America, but in New Zealand, you have to do due diligence if you're going to, if you're going to have a stand selling firearms, for example, and selling firearms weren't illegal, then you wouldn't be able to have a stand outside your seminar. But anyway, we've got pictures of them obviously having a stand. They've got the Goliath girls, and I'm getting a bit off track here. But anyway, what I'm getting at is it'll be interesting to see what happens to people like Patrick Ben-David, because Christopher paid $1 million. There's another $1 million just to have naming rights and to stand up on the stage and tell everyone he's a crypto guy and he wants everyone to have a passive income. But anyway, these are some of the photos that you won't see now because the site's down. But when the site was up, we actually, we went through and grabbed all these photos. And that's why the lawyers that are claiming to people that they can help them save money really need to pull their head in. Because they don't know the true story. We know the true story, and we're willing to talk to these lawyers. But rather than going off half-cocked, and, you're so cool. I love my Avengers. They are so cool. But rather than going off half-cocked and going and saying things in front of 170 people that we will never go after the partners, when you don't even know if the partners are the criminals. So it's so stupid to even say that. And it's an insult to my team of Avengers. Remember, I'm the one that started this investigation. I'm the one that reached out to the head investigator and said, I want to help you. I'm the one who I'm not saying I know everything about this because we've done a lot of open source intelligent investigation, but I'm the one that got this going. Now, if a lawyer is going to come in here and within a week make a decision to do a class action lawsuit against the company and go after the banks, the insurers, and the accountants and all the professional bodies behind it, what are you going to do? You're going to go after Matt Burke, who's spending money like it's water, who isn't even a registered financial advisor, who won't have insurance, and then you're going to go after Piers Curry, who's, fully invested in a Goliath, and you're going to tell everyone that Piers Curry is a victim? And you're not going to go after Piers Curry, who stood up and we've got video evidence of Piers Curry telling people, we've got Piers Curry in Zoom meetings telling people that he's going to give them 5, 6, 7, 8% return per month. He's in Zoom meetings promoting Goliath Ventures. So you're not going to go after them? It's just unreal. Anyway, have a look at these pictures because you won't see these pictures again. I'll get my head out of it a wee way. Oh, there's happy Chris. He's having a good old time. Oh, look at this. Drink. He's being nice to everybody. He's just the good man around town. There's your victims. Oh, no, there's the people that stole your money. There's one man, but it's not called Goliath Ventures Inc. for a reason. Otherwise, Chris might as well have been a sole trader. I mean, you've got Nick Petrillo standing beside him for a reason. Nick Petrillo is now demanding that Goliath Ventures pays him $14 million in rewards for pushing people off the cliff. You can't get any better than this. You can't make this shit up. You've got Tomo, who we are pretty certain is doing real shady stuff. We'll find out about that in the not too distant future. But he's been promoting it. He's been sending out Goliath, hashtag Goliath Strong, all this sort of stuff. All these guys in this photos have been promoting it. Every single one of them. And are they qualified professionals? What are they? Are they qualified professionals? You've got a fireman, you've got a policeman, you've got realtors, what we call realtors, but real estate agents. We've got fitness trainers. What else have we got? We've got podcasters in there, I think. But we've got a fisherman, for God's sake. Who else have we got? So we've got someone who helps people. All these guys are not corporates. Wouldn't know the arse end of a investment opportunity. Have no contract law knowledge. None of them are lawyers. None of them are registered financial advisors. But what did they do then? They were fooled. They were fooled by one man. They had willing blindness. Was it willingness blindness? Are you telling me that all these guys had no idea that this company wasn't above board? What they did have is they had networks around them. The Indian Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber of Commerce in Canada. Yesterday they had, we think it was 125 people. We kept all the names and all the phone numbers. They had 175 people in a WhatsApp group. We've got all your phone numbers. So now we have all the phone numbers of investors that invested in Goliath Ventures who are being coerced to run off another cliff by being represented by a lawyer who hasn't done his due diligence. All he's worrying about is getting the okay to handle the receivership, whatever thing he's going to go to the receivers and he's going to get Chris's $6.87 million worth investment fund and he's going to spread it around to everybody. I mean, come on, guys. There's a lot more to this investigation that needs to happen before we start doing legal action. Now, I need you guys to put your big boy trousers on and we need to start working together face to face. Now, in a couple of days' time, we're going to hold a Zoom meeting. And everybody who wants to stop hiding behind their name, their professional practice, and they want to speak out about this. If Nick Patello's got 900 people, if Punic Shore has got 500 people, that's 1,400 people. And then Christopher, well, I don't know exactly how much, but a lot of these other partners have recruited people. We counted up to 2,000 customer numbers so that we know there's 2,000 people that they've put into a customer file. If your customer number is higher than 2,000, well, you can remember what your customer number was. We'd like to know. But we believe there's more than 2,000 people that have been involved in Goliath Ventures. And these photos, these make me sick because I know some people have actually sent legal threats to Christopher telling them that they want their image removed off his website because they don't endorse what he's doing. This is one of my favorite photos, and there's a main reason for it, but I won't tell you. Hey, Christopher, there they are. Is it the two Ronnies? It's good night from him and it's good night from me. Look at that. Now you've got Nick Petrillo there that's got a mistress for 3 years, and he's got a wife that's about to have a baby. He's living in an $8.5 million house. And he's now switching the license plates on his vehicles. And you can look up the registrations of those vehicles. I don't have access to do that. But we heard that within the last 24 hours that these license plates have been switched from one vehicle to another. We know that he's got vehicles for the ranch. We believe he may be trying to hide his assets, knowing that they will be seized like Christopher's were. Every single one of these partners, these people in this photo, except for the travel lady, have money. They, we've even got people like Piers Curry and Matt Burks not in these photos. These guys have had a good time with your money. Well, I wouldn't. There we go. So there's Piers Curry there. So that's Matt Burks right there. I'll even make my mouse go really big. Look at that. You can see him there. And then you got Alex, who smashed his Lamborghini. Sorry about that, mate. We've got Nick Petrillo right next to right next to Chris again. Tomo right next to Chris again. You notice the pecking order? It's always Nick Petrillo and Chris. And then you got Tomo. And you're telling me that these guys are victims? Come on, get real. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so these are people that were at events, charity events, basically endorsing Chris, in my opinion. And he's just having a good old time. Oh, look at that jacket. I mean, who the hell has a red jacket like that with a brooch on it? That's one of the jewelry bits that they would have repossessed. Hugging people. Oh, he's just a man about town. I'll be at home at the moment, though, won't he? Be crying like a baby. All right, so now we need to bring that image down before I get on my high horse. Can we do that? I'll bring that image down. So I want to hear from Andrew Tate. You guys know these guys better than I do. I would want to speak to him. I just want to clear up what his connection is with Christopher. So this is the on Tomo's what do you call those things? Instagram account. You can see his name. And as soon as it went online, we saw inside Andrew Tate, the war room. I am one of 33 mentors. I mean, goodness sake, wonder if Andrew Tate's going to employ me to be a speaker on how not to lose the monies. I don't know. Anyway, so Andrew Tate, war room. I am one of 33 mentors. Tomo, one of 33 war room mentors, shares lessons on brotherhood, health optimization, and breaking goals into actionable steps, featuring insights from Dubai Elite and Dr. Rafael on men's health. Well, there we go. Tomo Talks. So there you go. So you remember you heard it here first. So that's a bit of a laugh. All right, I'm going to go back on script now. That was one hell of an introduction, but let's see if we can get some good stuff into you. Now we're going to talk about a few things. So today we've got some interesting developments on Goliath Ventures investigation, and things are starting to move quickly, as I've just mentioned. A new article has been published in the Orlando Sentinel, and they actually refer to me as a digital sleuth. This is what a digital sleuth looks like. And now I'll let you decide whether that title fits. But what matters is that the story is gathering attention, and the detail around the cases became harder and harder to ignore. At the same time, we've just seen a federal filing that outlines millions of dollars in luxury accents now being frozen and surrendered as part of the criminal case against Christopher Delgado. Am I saying that right? Hopefully. We're talking about exotic cars, high-end watches. Okay, high-end watches. I've got to talk about that. Now, why did Chris have 10 Rolex? Isn't that disgusting? This guy has got 10 Rolexes. 10. Who the hell needs 10 Rolexes? He stole your money. He knew he was running a Ponzi scheme, and he went out and bought 10 Rolex watches. Why did he do that? You don't know, do you? And if you don't know, then you don't know this investigation as well as we do. The Rolex guys gave over the database of all the people. Well, we can't actually say that, but I've just said it, haven't I? But we have done blogs explaining that this is all about getting inside of communities. So Chris goes into a Rolex dealer knowing that his clientele are rich and wealthy people, the same people that Christopher has targeted. So maybe you're listening to this now and you go, yeah, I've got a Rolex watch. So think about how you can help us with this investigation. How did you get contacted and why? Did Chris go to a charitable event and then schmooze with you? Did you see him at some charity event and thought, well, he must be a good person if he's giving to this charity event? The reason why he's got these watches is he's buying people's trust. He's building those networks. He's rubbing shoulders with the rich and famous, and he's pretending he's one of them so that these same people will hand over more money to keep the illusion of this Ponzi scheme going. So high-end watches, he had 10. I'm sure he was showing off to the people that were selling and potentially being able to say, oh, have you met such and such? And then such and such will be the next guy that lands another $5 million on Chris's lap. It's disgusting what he's done. And unless you guys are going to start speaking up and actually putting your name and your reputation out there and stand up to these individuals, there's going to be another Ponzi scheme and more people are going to lose money. And that's why we do what we do. People ask me what my why is, and I go, even I don't know. But I'm not doing it for the money because you guys have been doing it for the money. You are the ones that are looking for good returns for your investments. So don't criticize me if you think, why does Danny do this? Does he do it for coffee? Do I really do this for $5 coffees, guys? Designer jewelry. Oh, wow, I've even spelled that word wrong. I wonder if I can spell it New Zealand. You know, New Zealand jewelry spelled with 2 L's, just saying that. Luxury items that prosecutors believe were purchased while investors were being told their money was generating steady returns. Now, there is a couple of vehicles that we've found that Christopher hasn't handed over. And if we can prove that those vehicles exist and they weren't on the ledger that we're about to read, then there could be a breach of bail conditions. And that could mean that Chris goes and spends time in jail and doesn't get to spend time in his $3.2 million house that I think he's in. I don't think he's living in the $8.5 million house. Could be wrong. But the question that everyone keeps asking me is the same one I want to ask you. Where did the money actually go? Now, remember, this is my script that I like to read to stay on structured. So I'm asking you the question in the chat room, where did the money go? I'm going to actually make that. I'm going to make a poll right now. And we're going to go poll, where did the money go? Now, what's some good things? Where did the money go? On, let's go. Let's have a look. Exotic cars. We'll put that one in there. We're allowed 4. I'll do it lowercase. High-end watches. Where else have we got? We've got designer jewelry. Add option. Lifestyle marketing. Okay, lifestyle marketing. Right, so there's a poll. I want you to do a thing. Now, I'm not going to be biased here. Hello, Violet. Lovely to see you here. And I haven't said hello to anyone in the chat room. Queen Nakama, you're beautiful. You're all beautiful people. Glitter Toast, thank you very much for your supporting me. How was your collaboration with Mark James when you went to Orlando? You guys looked very cute together. Oh, really? You're fishing for comments, are you? I've had a lot of help from a lot of people. I do know Mark very well, and he's a very approachable guy. And I'm sure if anyone's got any problem with Mark, you could ring him up and have a talk to him yourself. I don't think he's hiding anything, but that's very, that sounds, and so who are you holding me whatever? Who are you? Are you hiding? Ask questions like that if you want. We're quite happy to be totally transparent. We have contacted tens of people. You know, we've gone through everybody. Every single person that we've reached out to has either ignored us or come back and asked us if they can help us with our investigation. Some people have, and you can do your own research, but I do think that's very funny. Are you also the person that tried to set up the X account where you're trying to call him Donnie and you've gone after him as well? I think that's very cruel. At the end of the day, you can be bitter that you've lost your money. You can be bitter that I'm telling people to go after the partners. But at the end of the day, where has the money gone is the big question. So we've asked that question in the chat room, and it says, where did the money go? Because when you start digging into this network, you begin to see something very interesting. Over the past several months, we have identified more than 18 individuals we consider high-stake partners in Goliath operation. And that's probably one of them in the chat room, which is friggin' hilarious. These are not small participants. Now, we're not talking about somebody who got an investment, bought $100,000 worth into Goliath Ventures, got their first dividend of $3,000, and then their second one of $3,000 and made $6,000. And now they have got $94,000 of their money left before it runs out. we're not talking about people who might have said, hey, to their father, because we've got some people who reach out to us and said, I put 135 in, and my father put $150,000 in, and all those sort of stories. We get that sort of stuff. That's not what we're called. That's not what we call, what did I say, high-stake partners. We're talking about people like Punick Shaw that have 500 people underneath them. He's not a registered financial advisor. I believe he's a real estate agent. What the hell is a real estate agent promoting Goliath Ventures for? For profit or gain? Maybe instead of asking me why I do what I do, maybe you should ask him why he did what he did. What about Nick Petrello? Here he is, only person that's got a court case claiming that he didn't get paid $40 million in rewards from Christopher. Because he had a contract that said if I throw people over the cliff, I'll get a percentage of whatever money they deposited. And now he's going to court after Goliath Ventures and Christopher saying he didn't get paid as per the contract. And not only that, he thought he'd get his mates in. So his old business partner, he's involved as well. So I'll get him in the court case. And then, I sold my business to an individual and I encouraged him to invest as well. So I'll bring him into the court case. So the first 3 civil court cases against Goliath Ventures were filed by a lawyer representing what we believe is one of the criminals that have been promoting Goliath Ventures. 900 people have been investing in Goliath through Nick Petrillo. And now Nick Petrillo is claiming he's a victim. He's never invested. He didn't need to invest because he was using the rewards to claim a loss. So he's been paid theoretically, he should have been paid $40 million for bringing 900 people into Goliath, and he didn't get the money. So if he's claiming $40 million, and my figures aren't quite right, then Punick Shaw, who's brought in 500 people to Goliath, theoretically could have got paid $20 million just using the same mass. So what is Punick Shaw done with the money? Did he not get paid either? Or did he just think it was a good idea to leave it hyper-compounding like all of you people were? Taking money out in dividends was not something that was a good idea, because why would you take out your money when you're getting paid so much on the back end of an app that isn't real? You got to work these things out. So, high-stake partners. We're talking about 18 of these high-stake individuals were considered high-stake partners in Goliath operations. These are the people that we need to seize the assets of and you need to go after, because they're already switching license plate numbers and trying to do shady stuff that even I don't understand why. These people are held, what are they going to say? These are people who help funnel significant amounts of investor money into the system. And while investors are waiting for payouts, many of these same individuals appear to be living very well. Now, Christopher was claiming that no one could get paid. They were waiting for NSB registrations. They were told there was going to be an audit. You were told lies. On the 2nd of December, they come out and told you they're waiting for an audit. Everything's going to resume back to normal on the 15th and 18th of December, and they're going to do October, November, and December catch-ups, and people can get their money out whenever they like. On the 10th of December, they held a big party. Jason Derulo was there. They blew what we believe is $5 million on a party. At the same time, when everyone else funds were frozen, and none of that eventuated, you guys sat there and listened to it, and we have had this conversation with so many people that have tell us that you don't know what you're talking about. Well, we know what we're talking about now, don't we? And you know what we're talking about now, and we've still got people who don't trust the Avengers, which is amazing. We're here to help investors. We're not here to help lawyers who haven't done an investigation before they start telling people how this is all going to pan out. And we welcome those lawyers to reach out to us, and I'm happy to have a meeting with them, and I'll answer your questions, and I'll criticize your thinking, because I have been, it's not my first rodeo with a bunch of lawyers. One name that keeps coming up is Nick Petrillo. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. We've noticed that some license plate numbers on vehicles connected to him appear to be changing. And today, I'm going to show you some of the images and the documentation that suggests exactly what he did. You'll see photos of Lamborghini, I can't even say this, Lamborghini
Urus.
Urus, is that the car, is it? And then Lamborghini Huracán STO, which I think is Alex's. And and other high-end vehicles that appear connected to the lifestyle surrounding his network. So let's just imagine that Christopher and Nick are partners. And Christopher's been blowing all his money on whatever he blows, and you can see a lot of it. And Nick's been having the same expenditure. And now all of a sudden, they've claimed $6.7 million worth of assets from Chris. Imagine if there's another $6.7 million worth of assets with Nick. You put that together, and that's $13 million worth of assets seized from the two top guys. And then you've got the partners, which doesn't necessarily mean they're underneath. As I said, Punic, sure, 500 people. If he's brought in 500 people, he could have been owed $20 million in rewards. He could have sneaked out $20 million and put it in some crypto wallet and hid it, just in case he did get locked up one day. But what I'm going to do, as soon as the authorities start knocking on my door, I'm just going to hand over everything I know. I'm going to go, I didn't know it was a scam. I didn't know I was scamming people. Where's his money? Why is everyone so upset that the fact that these guys aren't getting in the limelight? On one hand, we're hearing claims that partners are victims. Please never have those words come out of your mouth. Do not send me a message saying, are you sure these guys are victims? Now, there's a thing called grief, and there's 5 stages of grief. It's anger, bargaining, let's see if I get them all right. Anger, bargaining, acceptance, depression, and there's one other one I can't remember. So you guys have just found out 10 days ago that Christopher wasn't able to really return 3 to 8% return per month for an investment. And you guys are still coming to terms with what we have been yelling from the street corners since the 1st of September. Do you understand what I'm saying? All directors of partner services need to be investigated and charged. Now, that's the type of comment we like hearing. Thank you very much. And what about the properties? Thank you, Susie. And that's why Susie gets paid the big bucks. Because the properties, Matt Burke bought the neighbour's house, right? I said that earlier on. And also investing in lots of properties. Spent $1 million doing up his house. This guy has been scrubbed from the church. Oh dear, I've got some other. I might even have a wee video for you later on. I might get carried away. I've got a really awesome video, which hopefully I've got laying around on my desktop, of Christopher telling his story about when he was in In-N-Out Burger. They scrubbed it from the internet, but we've got it, and we'll play that later on. But the question that naturally flows through this, was that money lost as an investment? Did they put the money that they got from you into an investment, or did it all get blown on lifestyle marketing? Think about that. If they've all spent $5-6 million each, which is, I think, quite reserved, times 18, it's 100 million. 328 million is what the government has actually tracked so far. And they've gone through Coinbase, Bank of America, JB Morgan, and one other thing, well, maybe some blockchain stuff. And they've managed to track $128 million. So if you took 100 million out of that and said that's what the partners have been paid or been given in rewards, and they've stuffed it down their trousers and in their sock, and I'll leave it to your imagination where else they might have stuffed it. Most of these guys are what they call new money, where they're blowing it. I've heard that some of these partners have actually invested in an apartment complex, and they've put deposits down on building some future wealth thing. So they put their deposit down thinking that the money was going to continue, and now they would lose their deposit, I assume, because they won't be able to pay the installments for the project. But they'll probably try to start something else. But anyway, I'm just saying 100 million. 100 million gone. So now we're down to 228 million. How do Ponzi schemes work? Do your research. Some people put 15 million in. Now, 15 million investor actually originally put 1 million in, and he thought, oh, I'm getting dividends. So he took all his life savings and put 15 million in. He got 2.8 million. So he took out the whole 17.8 million. I heard from the grapevine that they thought he was going to reinvest it. So he took out all that money. I've heard numerous stories of people putting $5 million in. These guys have got the dividends out, right? So let's just say to keep the Ponzi scheme alive, you keep paying out the investors. And if you think you're God's gift to investments, that's what I believe they would have done. They would have tried to keep the Ponzi scheme going as long as they could. So mathematically, $100,000 hyper compounded for 1 year at 5% is $79,000 return. That is, if you do the maths on that, let's say there's $100 million worth of money that's come in and you've had to pay back $80 million in 12 months, and this has been going for 2 years. You can see that $200 million could have been easily used up in just paying back investors. So now where do you think your money is? Where's the money? Assets is what's left. And if you don't go after the LLCs of each individual person that was promoting this, regardless if they're a friend or a family member, because that's how these Ponzi schemes grow, then all their assets are going to be pissed away. They're going to be trying to switch the license plate numbers, which we've found out in the last, why the hell would Nick be switching license plate numbers in the last 24 hours of vehicles that he owns? Can you give me one reason why it would be a good idea to do that? Why did Alex crash his car? Does anyone know anything about Chris? Anyway, let's go and read the rest. It says, or was that money lost as an investment, or was it expected reward money from recruiting people into the system? So are they talking about losses? These people that are... So what I'm getting at here, guys, because I'm all over the place today because I'm on a high. I haven't even hit my can of Red Bull. So the money that they're claiming they lost, did they actually put it in? Or the money they're claiming they lost, and they're a victim as well, was that from the rewards that they were promised when they pushed people over the cliff into this Goliath Ventures Inc. investment? Because if the rewards were being paid from investors' deposits, and that's exactly what federal prosecutors are now alleging, then we may be looking at something very different. So we're going to walk you through the new federal assets filing, the luxury vehicles connected to his network, the changing license plates that we've identified, the partners who appear to benefited the most, and the growing evidence showing where investors' money may have actually gone. So as we go through the evidence tonight, I want you to keep one question in mind. If millions of dollars are flowing into an operation, where did it end up? Do you really believe, okay, because the cars, the watches, the house, the lifestyle may be starting to answer some of the questions. So I think, I don't think I can express that enough, but I want to use some Danny logic here. Where do you really think the money has gone? I mean, when anyone, like we've got our first lawyer that was mentioned in Law 360 magazine, and he said, I have reason to believe that $1 million is locked up. As soon as I heard this, I thought this whole thing is going to become a shit show. And to be honest, it has. Now, we've been contacted by quite a few lawyers who have offered a hand in helping our victims. And I don't like the word victims. I'd rather call you guys avengers. And I'm asking you guys to actually man up and help us publicly fight these guys and put your name out there, because you've been hoodwinked into an investment opportunity by what I believe 18 individuals that should have stayed in the fire brigade, should have stayed as a policeman, should have stayed selling houses, should have stayed fishing for fish in the ocean, should have stayed as a podcaster, should have stayed in your rejuvenational clinic, Tomo, rather than get involved in other people's businesses, because they're all going after Christopher now, aren't they? So why did they stick their nose in one man's business? Why did they sit there and smoke cigars with Christopher and chanted him on? Why did they travel in Lear jets with him? Why do they go to Mykonos with him? Why do they go to the Munich Beer Fest with him and celebrate his success? And why do they stick their nose in his business? If we're going to go after Chris, then why did these other guys meddle in Chris's business? Are you really thinking that Chris is the only hero when it comes to deceiving people out of their money? It's not a hero. These are the bottom feeders. And I have never lost money to an investment opportunity. 2 reasons. I don't have any money, and I hate these people who do this. I was brought up in a religious cult, if you don't know. And I've had 2 people in my immediate family die by suicide. And when I started investigating these Ponzi schemes and scams, an organization reached out to me telling me that they were investigating one big, massive Ponzi scheme, and they had tracked 11 people that had also died by suicide. So why do they do that? Well, you've made an informed decision from a trusted friend. You've taken out your whole life savings in many cases and put it all across the table and put it on a high stake gamble and lost the money. That is detrimental. And that's why my Avengers, we're on a crusade. I was up to 4 o'clock last night. I woke up at 7:30 in the morning and I'm on the go again. I haven't done any proper work for months. I'm just going backwards financially. And then I get somebody asking me, why do you do it? What's in it for you? And I have to bite my tongue. What's in it for me? And I look around at my Avengers and I go, what's in it for you? And we laugh at that because we don't even know why we really do this. You know, sorry. But I can tell you, we do have a bit of fun along the way, and something's really funny here. I've just got to get this off the back of the bus. Oh my goodness. This is going to be, I've got to put that on the screen straight away. 1 minute, please, caller. So we do have a bit of fun, but yeah, our why isn't driven by money. I do ask for money. I do ask for people to support me, and I do really welcome it. But we're past the money, aren't we? Aren't we past it? These guys have just got your money and pissed it all away. These guys have driven sports cars. Who the hell needs 2 Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, watches, 10 Rolexes, diamonds? Who the hell needs all that in their life? And why do they think they have the right to take your money? Come on, guys. Reach out to me. I don't, like, you're not going to get, oh my God, this is funny. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Oh, I'm just going to have a drink of that. Will you absorb that picture? It is funny. Thank you very much for that, Avengers. That is funny. Oh my goodness. Oh. I haven't even gone through the assets yet. I've lost my mouse. There he is on the back of a bus. This vehicle stops at all railway crossings. Selling homes, first success story at a time. What the hell is that saying? Selling homes, one success story at a time. Vince Griota. And he's even got his real estate number there. Oh, I presume that's his phone number. Give him a ring if you like. This is public available information, Google. Just saying. Oh, YouTube. Oh, my goodness. So, that is so friggin' funny. Oh, my God. And there's another one here. I mean, I don't even... Is that Chris? I don't know. Let's have a look. I'm having a field day today here, guys. We'll go through some of these slower. Is that Chris? Lord Diego. Smoking a cigar in the desert. I mean, is this what it comes down to? I mean, really? Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's just... it is actually breathtaking. Honestly, I just have to laugh. Now, I did put a new short out yesterday, and I would appreciate if people could actually like it and share it. It's only had 250 views. Yeah, the drums. And that is, I will put that on the screen now. But this is, why this is funny is, I'm going to turn the sound off, unfortunately, because even though that sound is Jason Derulo, I can't play the sound, even though it's licensed to YouTube, I don't think. But anyway, so let's have a wee listen here. A watch. Now, if you don't know, some of these photos are actually, I'm wondering if I could, oh, no, I think I'll leave it here. So this is Christopher. Now, we've got a whole series of photos that we've got that are pretty cool. So first one is obviously Christopher. Now, there's a story behind this, and we're going to be a bit of a long broadcast today, but the story, that photo that you just saw there was actually supplied to the Sentinel newspaper. And that was Chris trying to get a PR article into that newspaper. I think it was through his best friend, Nick Petrillo. So Nick Petrillo, and we're going to read the article in a few minutes, Nick Petrillo was trying to convince the Sentinel newspaper to do a feature on him. The Sentinel newspaper basically said that this guy, when they first met him, was raving on about how much money he'd given to charities. And he said something didn't add up, so they didn't publish the article. But that's where I got that photo from. Now, the interesting thing, some of these photos, I didn't have very good images of them. So I've used ChatGPT to reproduce the photos to a better quality. But I've checked the photos and I'm not changing the meaning of any of them. So this photo is actually the photo that was on the TV screen, but being cleaned up with AI. So I just want to be transparent with it. Now, let's have a look at the next photo here. All right. So there's Christopher standing in front of the White House thinking he's the man. Next one is shaking hands with Kash Patel. Then you've got this Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. Christopher's got his, I think they've got his arm around there like they're best friends. And I have had people tell me that Christopher believes that he will be fine because he's good mates with Kash Patel. Now, that is literally what I've heard. So here's another photo of Christopher, and they've actually tried to bring out stuff in the paper, which is quite interesting about how Christopher is, how do I say, been supporting Macca and all that sort of stuff. But I never got political with this. I didn't really want to get involved in that. But I just wanted to show you that photo because that's probably a proud moment to stand in front of that picture in the White House when you've been supporting Macca along the way. And I don't even know what Macca really is, but Make America Great Again. And this one here is a photo that I had to clean up a little bit, but I couldn't find the original, but it doesn't quite look like Chris, but in the background it looks like Donald Trump, and he's in front of the White House, and he's in the White House while that photo was taken. So you may have seen a very similar photo to that one. And this is a really interesting one. And Chris doesn't quite look like it because it wasn't a very nice photo, so I've asked him to clean up. But this is Ron DeSantis. Oh, can you give me that document, Suze? The one I know what the happy document. Because we want to talk about, if you've got that document, give it to me. Because there is an interesting one. When Chris bought the building, they put it in a really unusual name because when they were talking about assets, we're trying to wonder why. We're trying to wonder why he bought the building, the offices, and put it in an unusual company name. So we want to go through that. But anyway, if you've got that document, we will have a look at it. What have we got? Another oldie. Hold it. We've got another oldie, the bus, and Christopher in the hands. Yeah, it's cool. All right, got those so far. So let's carry on. So that's Ron DeSantis. If you don't know him, I don't know where you've been. Even I know who he is, and I live in New Zealand. Now, this one here was a cracker because this was the night before. So this was theoretically on the 9th of December, and Jason Derulo was singing at a concert. And Christopher, somebody said it would have cost him $30,000 to have that position where he is. And when I reproduced this from AI, it actually made Chris bald. But I thought I'd leave it there anyway because I was doing this late last night about 1 o'clock. And the next thing is we've got Christopher sitting on top of his Rolls Royce. I don't know if he got off, he'd lose his nuts on the old the wings. I'm just going to put this short on here. So please do go to that video. Please hit the thumbs up. I want to get these shorts out there. I want to create as much awareness so that these guys don't get away with it. And by hitting the thumbs up on the video that you're watching right now, was really cool. So 59% of people so far. Now, these are some of the charities. Now, this is where the shit gets real. This is a charity where they give a celebrity or somebody who's donating, take these kids for a walk on the stage, and they get to be in the limelight. As the Sentinel newspaper pointed out, that every charity that Christopher donated to, it was all about getting in front of the camera or getting the mic. Just like he paid $1 million to Patrick Ben-David, all these charities that he was involved with, it was all about, look at me, look at me. Not everyone's doing it for that reason. I'm not saying that, but Christopher was. Okay, next one we've got is, and this is when he was on Kids Beating Cancer, I think it is. I'm not quite sure of that. I should look that up to get that right. But I think that is the event. Hold it 1 minute. I've got the notes here, actually. It is Kids... Ooh, lots of notes. Lots of correspondence that we have is pretty amazing, just saying. Where are we? Kids Beating Cancer. So this is when he was doing Kids Beating Cancer. And I don't know, but hundreds of thousands of dollars have been donated in some cases, and a lot of these charities will have to pay the money back, unfortunately. And if you're involved with Kids Beating Cancer, you'll probably know who this is. I don't know if I'm correct, but is that Sam? I'm not sure. But anyway, so there he is. And there's Tomo. Tomo, the grease monster. Who the hell wants to see Tomo actually locked up? Put a 1 in the chat room. No, put a 7 in the chat room if you want to see Tomo charged with criminal stuff. I do. I'll put a 7 in my own chat. That's Christopher when he was before he had any operations or any work done on himself. Now, this is quite sad. I'm not trying to ditch his kids, but I do know that Chris has one adopted child that's on the spectrum. And I think this is the saddest photo out of any of the photos, because Chris had a normal family. Chris had a normal wife, Andy, I believe, and normal children. And now Daddy's going to go to prison for running one of the largest Ponzi schemes and scams in America. What detrimental effects is this going to have on his family? Now, we know that he's had 8 girlfriends since. We know that he's going through a divorce with his wife that hasn't been finalized. I believe that one of the houses that he bought was for the wife, and he lived in the $8.5 million house with Tay. Now, Tay has got herself a lawyer. How about that? Tay has got herself a lawyer. She's lawyered up. She was going to stick with her man through thick and thin. I actually love to read the message I have from Tay, because we've been so Tay was disgusted with the fact that I rang up Chris on his birthday and I sung him happy birthday. And then she sent me this message back, which I believe was Chris. And this is what we got from Tay. So have a listen to this.
It's honestly surprising how much time you've spent talking about someone you've never even met.
Thank
God.
If
you actually knew Chris, you'd see the genuine, kind-hearted person he is. It's unfortunate that you feel the need to tear down innocent people. That says far more about the world you live in than anything else. If you took the time to know him, you'd realize Chris would never take advantage of anyone or scheme in absolutely any way. The irony is that you even called him on his birthday to sing to him. We still have the voicemail. That alone shows how inconsistent your behavior has been. I'll stand by him through all of this. If you think you're going to take him down, you're mistaken. All you're doing is making him stronger. Keep that in mind. Have a good day.
If you think you are going to take him down, you are mistaken. All you are doing is making him stronger. Keep that in mind. Boy, I'm keeping that in mind. Now, that's Chris's girlfriend, who's had over $1 million worth of shit spent on her in the last 12, 13 months. This is a photo which is quite comical, because that is actually Christopher when he used to call himself Lord Diego, which is absolutely crazy. All right, and now the grand finale. Here's Christopher holding up his, been arrested. Orange County Jail, Christopher Alexander Delgado, case number, blah, blah, blah. And the very last picture, well, in a few years when Chris is getting older. Now, somebody sent me this photo and asked me, because I've been messaging all the phone numbers. There's 125 people that were in this WhatsApp group, and we've got all their phone numbers. And we're now going through, messaging them all saying, hey, have you really thought this is a good idea using this lawyer? And one of them sent back this screenshot asking me whether the person texting them is me. And that's me. And that's Christopher, probably about 20 years' time. And he will be in prison with no blonde hair. And I just thought that was priceless. Okay, so the other thing we did have another photo which I'll bring up here. This was quite funny. Now we do realise that these people haven't got these tattoos, and these will be all stick-ons. Thank goodness they didn't get. Imagine having that Lord Diego. Imagine having that on your wrist these days. Wouldn't you just feel like a class numpy knowing that you've got Lord Diego on all your wrist? But that's the names that they had. It's just absolutely crazy, batshit crazy. Alrighty, so these are the assets. We were talking about this. Now we're probably going to get distracted a little bit. But we've got luxury cars. We've got a 2023 Escalade. We've got, I think that's a Bentley. I think that's a Rolls Royce. I think that's, that's a Ferrari, a yellow Lamborghini. We've got a jet in the background. I don't think that. So this is pretty cool. Isn't that quite clever? That so how much did all this stuff cost? Well, we asked ChatGPT based on the I'll just see how big we can make this before we go stupid so you guys can read it. It said based on realistic market value, the assets listed in the federal court filing, which we haven't actually looked at. I'll just see if we can actually bring that up. Is that going to allow? I just want to see if that's going to be naughty. No, it's gone away. I have to find that later on, but that's okay. Warranty deed. Ooh, interesting. We'll try to retract it. Okay, thank you. Based on the assets listed in the federal court filing, here's a realistic market value estimate on what Christopher Delgado was ordered to surrender. So I didn't realize that he was ordered to surrender. I thought he's dumb if he doesn't, but he could say, no, I'm not giving over my vehicles. I have only been charged. I've been charged with a criminal event, but not proven in court. So I'm going to keep all my Rolex watches on my arms. Imagine that. 5 Rolex watches on this arm and 5 Rolex watches on this arm. I'm walking around town like, look at me. I'm the man about town. That's what Chris was doing right now. These are approximate 2026 secondary market values of luxury real estate. Not MSPR, whatever that means. Vehicles estimated. Let's see. So he had a Cadillac Escalade. And when I was in America, I really did enjoy it. These Escalades are lovely. I got in Suburbias, which are nice trucks. We don't have them in New Zealand. We can't afford to run them. It's too expensive. But he's got a $150,000 one of those. Rolls Royce Ghost, $350,000. Woo! Lamborghini Huracán, 2024. So he bought new stuff, none of the secondhand stuff. $280,000. Bentley, every one of these figures is giving somebody some money back if they sell them in the police auction. Who's going to the police auction? I'll be there. There might be something going cheap. I'd like to buy some memorabilia. I have got a shirt, which unfortunately cost this shirt. Unfortunately cost somebody over $700,000. That's all they've got left of the investment. But they gave me the shirt off their back because they want to fight this scam. You guys that have been scammed need to start standing up. Don't let everyone do the dirty work for you. You're asking victims to stand up in front of cameras and give testimonials for you, hoping that you can keep anonymous. Come on, stop being anonymous. Let's get into this. Let's stop these crimes. Let's make an example out of these individuals. Okay, so he's got a Lamborghini Huracán, a Bentley. I don't even know what that is. What is it?
Bentayga.
Bentayga. I have to look at one of those. Let's have a look. I have to look. I don't even know what that is. Images. I've never seen them. So is that what I think that's bloody ugly. What's so special about it? It looks friggin' ugly. Anyway, just saying. All right, so let's go back. A Lincoln Navigator. Well, that's something that's probably more my price. Let's have a look at that one. Okay, Lincoln Navigator. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I can handle that. I'm just going to get rid of that image so I don't keep going back to it. Rolls Royce
Cullinan.
Wow, that's $400,000 for one of these. So, oh no, didn't copy it. 1 minute, please. Wonder if you can just right click and go search for Google. Oh, that works. Okay, let's have a look. So what have we got? Oh yes, I've seen one of those with the orange seats. They look pretty cool. Let's have a look at that. Okay, is it going to clear up? Oh yes, that looks pretty sexy. Ooh, that looks nice. Oh, I like that. Unreal though, isn't it? I mean, if I'm ever rich, you guys, I won't tell anyone, it'll be my secret, but there will be signs. But I just don't see myself getting involved in this sort of stuff. It doesn't, it's disgusting. One of my Avengers was just about in tears, telling me about the money that they've blown on these sort of vehicles and stuff like that. Mercedes Sprinter, let's have a look at one of those. Oh, hold on, I just did what I said to do. I can right click. So you highlight the word, right click, and go search with Google. Oh no, I did hear about this. So must be where when they go to the parties. So a Sprinter. So he's got himself a van. Oh, that's be all pimped out as well. And this is the other thing. These vehicles have all been pimped out as well. Mercedes C300. Everyone wants one of those. So let's have a look. Shopping one of those. Let's go. Oh, these are pretty cool. And these things here, if you pimp them out, I watch. There's one I like watching, Matt Armstrong in UK. He gets these cars that have been smashed up, and then they refit them out, and they basically zoom up the engines. And some of these things can have like 700 or 800 horsepower. So that's quite cool. I'm not really a Mercedes guy myself. I don't even know what this is, but I have a feeling this might be a classic car. Where are we? Search. That I was brought up with, and it might be one of those. Like I always wanted to own a Ford Escort, but this is not a classic car. So this is just a truck, a truck. Let's see if we can get it. A truck. So he's got one of those trucks. So how many cars can one man drive, and why did he have to squander your money? Why did he not? If he really thought his Ponzi scheme was that good, why did he not just keep a low profile? Like Bernie Madoff, and try to keep it going. And I don't know what a Mercedes 51 Mercedes Classic is, but I am curious that now we didn't come this far to only come this far, so let's keep on doing this. Really? Oh, Cobra. It's not a Cobra, is it? Is it one of those? Wow, that's pretty cool. Do you ever watch that movie called Cobra with Sylvester Stallone? It was so cool. He had one of these cars that looked very much like this. Probably not. I thought the car might have been called Cobra, but the movie was called Cobra, and it was just amazing. And they finished up smashing it up. He actually drove it off the building and totaled it, which was really cool. So I'm just going to get rid of some of these tabs so we don't go back there again. So I think we've covered the car collection. Right, so that the US vehicle subtotal was 1.7 million. Now, whether they get that money back from them, we don't know. Foreign vehicles. Now, that's quite interesting. So these are the ones that we claimed had a black Ferrari. Now, the car detailer guy that was doing all his car detailing, nice guy, based in Orlando, did communicate with us and did everything really, really cool. He said he wanted to make everyone know that he was not doing the fit out for the black car that Chris had in Dubai. So this is what Chris had sitting in Dubai. Now, for those people who might think that Christopher isn't guilty, let's just work some stuff out. Let's just look at all the assets that Chris had, just with the assets of repo, $6.7 million worth of assets. How much money would he have had to turn over with liquidity pool trading and theoretically water cooled mining to generate the amount of money that he spent? And that is astronomical. So if he spent $20 million on himself in luxuries, the houses, the watches, the cars, he would have had to turn over at least $100 million worth of, investments to generate 20% of profit to merit spending the money on his lifestyle. But if he was doing a straight Ponzi scheme, which I believe he was, then he would have just been using the money that's coming in and just paying for these vehicles or putting them on hire purchase. Like we believe that I think one of the mics couldn't afford to get his Lamborghini. So Chris co-signed it for him. So that Lamborghini is going back. I'm just sort of making it here. So, okay, so we've got that car and I think a catalogue. We've got another one of those. Yeah, so we've got another Escalade. So that's cool. So we know what that one is. All right, luxury watches. Now, some people have told me today that that you can do a search and look up these watches. So I've got a watch, and my watch is very expensive. It costs 2,800 New Zealand dollars. And I sell watches, but this is a fitness watch, and it knows that right now that my heart rate is 64, and I'm drinking a can of Red Bull. But I like fitness watches. But I don't have watches like this because I just think they're useless. Okay, so now we're looking at images. So this is the watch. I don't know if it is the watch. High end, I don't know. But I'm assuming this is a watch that looks like it's got pimples, but I presume they're diamonds. And I'm just guessing that that's the watch that we've searched for. So if you want one of those, there's going to be one coming up in the police auction in the not too distance. So this one here is a rainbow watch. And this is unheard of. I've never even looked these up. Oh, it looks like this. Oh my goodness, no offense. Have you redacted the names out of that, Suze? I think you haven't, yeah? Well, I will quickly try to redact. All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is a rainbow watch. And this is funny. This is, you can't make this shit up. Excuse me, but this looks like the Mickey Mouse watch. It's a rainbow watch. Oh, I'm just so, like, look at this watch. So this to me looks like a Mickey Mouse watch. You know, like when you get your first Mickey Mouse watch and you think this is the best thing. So that's $450,000 worth of watch, a rainbow watch. So who paid for that? Put your hand up put a 7 in the chat room if you paid for the rainbow watch for Christopher to have in the drawer. And the 9 other watches, this is disgusting. So now we're looking at, I'm learning as we go through all these assets. Let's keep on going. We're going to go to a search. I'm still not used to doing this, but let's have a go. Rainbow watch, images. Oh, is this the one I've seen? Yes, I've seen this one before. I think Mr. Moon might have one of these. He watches my videos every now and again. But this one here, this is pretty cool. So that you can you literally see what's in there? That is a Swiss, I thought Swiss watches were pretty amazing, but that there is a bit of machinery, isn't it? No quartz in there, I believe. You'd probably have to spend $5,000 just to change the battery on it. Are they kidding me? Is that what it looks like? That is real cool. I actually would probably like that. I'd have to walk around in a sports jacket that's too tight for me. You know what I mean? But that is actually, I quite like that. I'm going to be putting my sign up at the police auction. I will bid $10. I will bid $10 at the police auction. That is nice. And look, it comes with a box. The box is probably worth more than my house. I don't have a house. That is so cool. Look at that. I think that's actually lovely. It's even got, alrighty, so that's good to know. Well, in case I ever want to get one of those, if anyone wants to buy me a gift and can't afford to buy, support me, I would like that. I would like that watch. I would probably sell it, be honest, just saying now. Additional Rolex day dates, diamonds, platinum models, just the leftovers, $60,000 to $150,000 each. He would have just been doing his shopping in the afternoon and gone past the Rolex shop and said, hey, I'm going to hang out at the Rolex shop and get chummy with all the guys selling the Rolex. Because you can't just walk into a shop and buy a Rolex, I've heard. You've actually got to put your name down on a list and wait for availability to buy these amazing watches. So Chris may have actually, I've heard in the past that he jumped the queue. And that's when we started getting a bit suspicious, because I did have somebody on the blower telling me that he's got his name down for this particular Rolex watch. And somehow Chris had jumped the queue. And because he jumped the queue, then we started investigating the Rolex guy and how Chris may have actually potentially got some people's names who might have been interested in investing. So staggering $3 to $4 million worth of watches. Who the hell has the right to spend your money like that? And now these assets are all theoretically under lock and key. And remember, we have got this file before it's been published anywhere. However, the Sentinel did mention the file that we're about to show you. And I will give you I don't even know how to do this. I need to go to, yes. So if you go to my thing, now make sure you guys are here for my look, I've got 3 people waiting already for my meeting, and it's going to start for 2 days. You're missing Jay Newton. No, we're not missing Jay Newton. Jay Newton used to be in our chat room giving me a hard time all the time until we found out where his daughter went to university, and then he disappeared. Just saying. I'm thinking, oh yeah, so if you go to theheck.com, sorry, I lie. If you go to my YouTube channel and you click on posts, in post, you can actually see that we've got this post here of the video that you're watching right now. And you can come in here and read all about it, and you'll see a link here to read the full filing. Or you can come down to the post I did last night. I went to bed at 4 o'clock last night, if you haven't noticed. You click on that, and there you go. That is the actual order that's been filed just on the 2nd, but we haven't found it in any official database yet. So this whole video might have to be scrubbed if we find that this never hits the court documents. Maybe they need Christopher to sign for it first. Just saying. But anyway, that's the official document. Now, what I'm going to do to make your life a lot easier, if you're in the chat room right now, Jay Newton was at the Black Block meeting. Oh, Susie, don't you mean Black Rock meeting? Huh? You mean that Black Rock and Black Block aren't the same company? Oh, my goodness. Yes. So he was, and we've got photos of all that stuff, which I can show you another day if we need to. But anyway, in the meantime, there's the letter from all the assets that they have asked Chris to hand over. So Chris, at the moment, we package them all up in white tissue paper, and he'll be getting the cars all cleaned, and then he'll be handing them over to the men in black. All right, so here we go, the watches. Estimated totals, US vehicles, 1.7, foreign vehicles, 500,000. I don't know how they're going to get the money back on those. Probably have to get somebody in Dubai to sell those. Watches, a staggering $3.5 million. And jewelry, all the brochures. So who the hell would want to have a brochure made of diamond with in the logo of Goliath Ventures? Well, Christopher would. So the estimated cost is $6.7 million. These are market resale estimates, not purchase prices. So these assets that he's got isn't necessarily how much he would have paid for them. So he could have spent $12 million paying for this stuff, but now that they're reselling it, this is the guesstimated value of them, not now, I'll just be really clear. In the filing, which you see here, it did not put any prices. We have used a clever tool called AI to give us a guesstimation on how much they could potentially get in recovering these assets. If you would like, I can turn this graphic to break down YouTube 7 million. No, thank you very much. So that's that part. And there's the document. You can eat your life out on that. That's my website. And this is where you can come along and support me by buying me a cup of coffee. If you thought this was good, you can do it anonymously. You can buy a cup of coffee on this side. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do anything you like. You don't have to do anything. But one thing I do insist that you're doing, and that is subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have got more things coming out today, which I can't help go through. I want to talk about how I've been a digital sleuth, going by the Sentinel newspaper. So my claim to fame is I'm going to be a digital sleuth. The other thing, if you do subscribe, Sadie, she doesn't get paid anything, but she'll clean the windows, your screen on your computer free of charge. She does a lovely job. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sadie. She's awesome. But now what I want to do is I want to go through a couple of things. First of all, just to reiterate what we're doing here today, we're telling you guys, if you're not going after the partners, your lawyers missed the boat. Your lawyer hasn't done good research into what's actually really been happening with Goliath Ventures. He thinks that Christopher's got a pile of money. We can tell you all the money's gone. So there are some tricky lawyers out there, and we've got one coming on the show on my Friday, your Thursday, who is going to tell you how they go after the accountants, how they go after the lawyers, how they go after all the professional entities, which isn't very many of them, and potentially they could get your funds back through this way. If they can prove that the banks have done bad practice and done something wrong, then the banks may be able to recover some of your money. Now, that's why when a lot of people reach out to us, they ask us that question, can you help me recover your money? And I go, no, I can't. And we don't like being at this end of the rainbow, to be honest. But there are some circumstances where if you have used your bank to transfer money around, it may actually be a good thing. If you've gone and transferred money from crypto to crypto, that may be a bad thing. But I'm not a professional crypto junkie, and I'm not anyone that works in the bank, and I don't know how it works, and I'm not a lawyer. And I don't want to give you false hope. So at the moment, unfortunately, guys, I'm telling you guys that you've lost your money, you've been scammed by Christopher. make sure you've gone to the email address that's on the official warnings. There's an email address. Email them a very nice and precise thingy, and and that would be cool. Now, we have got some other things. So anyway, I want to keep that there. I just want to shut down some of these windows. The first thing I probably want to look at, there's a couple of other articles that have just been come out while I'm talking, but Maxwell accused the crypto scammer boost his profile through Orlando's charity. That's Chris. I don't know why they keep using that photo. Anyway, so this guy here, Scott, good on you, Scott. You've done a really, really good article. If you've got any updates, please do email him. Make sure you tell him about Danny. About a year ago, he talks about a PR company, which we believe was Nick Petrillo at the time, saying that a young and relatively unknown entrepreneur has precisely the kind of rags to riches, what do they call that word, philanthropist story that we should share. Two things in the pitch that caught my eye back then was the fact that he was broadcasting about his charitable donations. You can read this yourself. And then it talks about, other charities that he mentioned. There was a few folks in the newsroom were discussing the release, and he sent back an email basically saying to other people in the Sentinel that they decided to pass on highlighting Delgado and his supposed, whatever that word is. What's that word?
Altruistic.
Wow, that's a big fancy word. So basically they had a PR company reach out to the Sentinel magazine, and they basically said that Christopher would be an ideal person to do a story on from rags to riches, brought up in a trailer park, blah, blah, blah. But because of his actions and the maybe the template of the type of person he was, they decided not to do it, which is fantastic because there is a couple of news agencies that basically interviewed Christopher that must be a bit red-faced now. And the Sentinel did the good thing here. One of the things that fed their criminal complaint was he used his involvement with charities. And I know this for a fact, but the person that that donated the $720,000, I've met face to face, and that individual told me the reason that made them think it was a good idea to invest was because Christopher donated to his school. And because of that, that's how it works, you see. They get credibility. It's like giving themselves a testimonial. Charities are brand laundering or to establish a aura of legitimacy isn't new. In fact, it goes back to Charles Ponzi, where Ponzi schemes come from, and it goes back to 1920, and he gave an example there about how he was basically promoting himself. Even back then, he was in a limousine of some sort, and it was only a couple of weeks later he actually got arrested, and that was Charles Ponzi. So, so there's no doubt about it that Christopher used the charities to build his representation. Now, I did know we did have a charity. I do know that we had somebody in the chat room basically going on about Mark Najeems. Now, he runs Runway for Hope, and there is another lady that's been corresponding with me who is to do with kids beating cancer. And these were some of the bigger organizations out there who have done some really good in the community. And, like, it's all very well to look at these charities. Now, they all know, and I've spoken to, different people in different charities. I've reached out to over 15 different charities trying to warn them back in, actually, September the 21st, 2025, we reached out to 15 of the charities that were listed on Christopher's website. And we did everything we could to reach out to all these charities, telling them that we believe Christopher's running a large-scale Ponzi scheme and scams. And they never come back to us. A lot of them, two of the charities did come back to us and provide us some information. And one of them was actually Mark from One Way to Hope. He did come back to us and give us some feedback and gave us some information, which was really useful to us at the time. The other one was another charity that claimed that they didn't receive any money from Christopher. And I said, but he's got your name on his website. And then they come back 20 minutes later after doing a lot of research, and they said, well, he did donate $300 to us 2 years ago. So that's where the charities have come. So anyway, so yes, they've used the charities to lift their profile. They've used the firemen communities to get out there. They've used the policeman communities. They've used the real estate, the realtors, and they've used their charity to get themselves out there. He's also donated to Donald Trump's, I don't know what it's called, PAC. So everywhere Christopher can throw money. So does that mean he's going to try to recover? Are the receivers going to try to recover the money where Christopher donated to Donald Trump's affair? That would be interesting. They keep talking about how Chris was involved in politics. And we saw that as well. And he put about $90,000 into his own personal campaign, and he did manage to get about 5,000 votes, which is pretty cool. But I think that was about 11% of what he needed. What else? Providing comment opportunity to buy credibility. So it's not the first time the paper has had people reach out to them trying to buy their credibility by printing articles in their paper. And a lot of the articles you do, I've been in the New York Times. It took a lot of effort for me to get in there. They approached me. They interviewed me for 4 hours over, I think it was about 2 months, before they published an article about me being the crypto Ponzi scheme avenger, which is quite cool. In place like, what have we got waggling? In a place like New York, $1 million donors are a dime a dozen. In Orlando, you can throw $40,000 around and get tongues waggling. And they gave an example here of somebody who was nobody who put a bid in for $40,000 for a Harley Davidson, and he became instant stardom overnight. And then if you read down a little bit more, the same guy 2 years later was arrested. I think it was 2 years later. 2 years later was convicted in one of the biggest payroll tax fraud cases in the US. So that it's not their first rodeo, which I really liked reading about this. And then they gave another a story about Orlando's power cycles through political and charitable donations before being convicted for running a Ponzi scheme. So this, I don't know who this guy is here, but this person here.
Boy band magnate Lou Pearlman.
Never heard of them. But anyway, he was making political donations, and then he pleaded guilty in a fraud case that netted him a decade-long prison sentence. Oh, I like these prison sentences. Hey, Christopher, you must be freaking out right now, knowing that you're going to go spend time in jail. Don't drop the soap and get one with a rope. Orlando is a wonderful place for welcoming newcomers, but also provides an environment where people who don't have to spend too much relatively to make a big impression. So he's made a fantastic impression, and all these people in the business world, you like that saying, did you? I can see the love hearts coming up in the window when I say things like that. So what they're basically saying that Christopher bought his relationships with people, and he flaunted his money, and these investors saw this and thought because he's God's own, that everything he touched and everything he does, if they follow his leadership, they will be benefiting as well. And that's how these Ponzi schemes and scams do their thing, unfortunately. But anyway, this is the part that really got me. So I'm going to read this because it's too good to be true. And I'll be on Wikipedia again with this now.
In Delgado's case, a New Zealand-based cyber sleuth named Danny DeHeck posted multiple warnings about Delgado and Goliath Ventures, even reaching out to some of the charities Delgado was supporting and touting. But the feds didn't arrest Delgado until last week, even though the criminal complaint alleged that his scheming began back in 2023.
Yeah, so if you wanted to know that, when they click on that, this is before I grew my beard. I was trying to disguise myself. Christopher, we knew, just come back. Oh, there's Tomo getting arrested. He's been pumping iron again. Tomo goes to the gym between 3 and 5 most days. I was going to drop in and see him. But this article that we did at the time, they've linked to the Sentinel, was fantastic. Because in here it actually talks about people that had invested. One investor there, we believe, was investing around about 1.5 million and got their money out, which is quite cool. We talk about Inspired Rejuvenational Clinic, which we believe that investigators really need to go have a look at that business. And also we've reached out to the head doctor there just recently, Joe, I think it is Joe. who's meant to be, if he didn't exist in Tomo's business, that whole company would fall over because they need to have a practicing doctor to keep the doors open. So you can go read about that on this here, but this was in the Sentinel. You can see me. Hasn't ChatGPT Images got so much better there? But this whole article was about people that we believed may be benefiting by association. We're not alleging that these people were doing crimes, but we noticed that a lot of these people were associating with Christopher and endorsing bad behavior. This is the Helpful Hands charity. In here, we've got people that were innocent victims, theoretically, but they didn't bother. What do they call it? Willingness blindness. I can't even pronounce it right. But these are a lot of people here. We went through all the associations. So this one here pissed me off the most. These people, and this has been in the Sentinel, right? We wrote to this organization. 42 people we wrote to, and we got nothing back except an autoresponder telling us that somebody was, and you can see all the different companies that we've reached out to. And as I said, there were some awesome charities out there that have been really helping us with information. But if you click on Top Investor, this just last week had now removed Christopher's logo. So it took a criminal complaint from the US government telling us that now Christopher's been removed off their website. But we got crickets. And, these people were warned back in September that they shouldn't be promoting Christopher because he's doing illegal activities, and chose to just ignore us. And now we've got the newspapers coming out saying, oh, they've just taken it off. Well, we've had websites scrubbed. We've had videos deleted. We reached out to the car detailers. Now, in fairness to this young guy here, he was brilliant. We're not alleging that he's done anything wrong. He specializes at redoing Lamborghinis and pimping them out. That's a legitimate business. And, some people can't, scrutinize everybody that walks in their door. Like if you work in a dairy and somebody comes along and says, oh, I'll buy 24 cans of Coke, and you take their money, it doesn't mean you're doing a criminal activity. But, some of these people were really great because they come back to us and they offered us a lot of information. This Tyler Peters guy, well, he's got nothing between his ears. He's rung us up twice, and I've broadcasted him live when he's talking to us. This guy is dumb as shit. The guy rang us up asking us how we can protect his investment. And then a few days later, we see him in Munich with Christopher, celebrating with Alex. And, it's just ridiculous. So some people, Eric was a guy that was driving around the racetrack with Goliath Ventures on his race car. And we said to him, oh, don't think that's going to help your reputation or anything. So, the fact that Piers Curry, we reached out to the company that he used to be associated with, Taylor Financial, TF Premium Finance. Both these companies scrubbed them from the website. But when we went to the Wayback Machine, we found these photos of Piers Curry. Piers Curry has been promoting this. He is not a victim. He is a predator who's gone after people and stolen their money. It's just, these are all people of interest that we've had. These are some of the people of interest that we put on. We now have 165 people on our persons of interest. Now, people are not guilty because they're on our persons of interest, but we've just seen them in social circles associating with Christopher. And that makes us persons of interest. So that was pretty cool. So the fact that the Sentinel put my name in there and linked to my website, thank you. Because we know this story, I believe, better than anybody. You guys are playing catch up, and we get that. And next time, if you don't mind spelling my name with a small d-e, it means the heck. It means the gate. Danny the Gate. Yeah, well, a fence or an opening. So it's a Dutch name, and I got my name, my real name used to be Danny Charlesworth, would you believe? And my stepfather came along to my family when I was 7 years of age, and I got known as Danny the Heck. He was Dutch. By the age of 9, he'd actually died by suicide, unfortunately. And but I carried on his name. And when I got to the age of 15, I went to open a bank account. I had to use my legal name. And at that time, I thought I'm going to change my name by default. So that's why I've got the name Danny de Heck, and I'm a New Zealander, and I don't have any Dutch accent, in case you wanted to know. All right, so let's carry on. Delgado hasn't been convicted of anything. He's perfectly innocent. Still, maybe he'll ultimately clear his name. Who knows? But for now, the feds have presented a pretty detailed case that claims he was living high on the hog. Is that right? Living high on the hog. With multiple houses, fancy cars, and at least 10 Rolex watches that everyone needs, all the while deceiving investors. So all of that combined with the series about the other guy, was it a story about the other guy who quickly rose, Charles I can't read that. Too tired. Anyway, that's good. I think you can read the rest of that yourself. Just pause the screen. I'll put it there and pause, move my head out of the way, and read that yourself because I'm sick of reading at the moment. All right, we have got a couple of other things for you. Naughty, Orlando Economic Partnership Mission, whatever. Now, just to bear in mind, we're going to go through this again. Nick Petrello is changing the license plate between vehicles. If somebody wants to do something about that or figure out why, that would be really, really cool. So that's one vehicle. That's the second vehicle. And the next thing you want to do, so this vehicle, the plates on this vehicle used to be on this vehicle. This vehicle, the plates, and there they are. So this is what's happening. People are seeing these people around town, and obviously Alex has crashed his Lamborghini, which is really, really cool. Well, not really cool because somebody's going to have to buy that from the police auction, and it's going to have a dent in the front. And that probably would have cost him probably, I don't know, 25 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand. Who cares when it's not your money, eh? And if you're on the way to Disneyland and you're in Florida, please keep taking photos of these people. And can somebody please reach out to Outfront and ask them why they're promoting a guy that's stolen $328 million from people? And Patrick Ben-David, well, I can't wait until I hear that Patrick Ben-David had to pay back $1 million because he didn't do due diligence, and literally having Goliath in the foyer so people can sign up for a, now we know, Ponzi scheme is just unheard of. There he is again. This one's outside the service station. Can't make this shit up, I tell you. All right, remember, if you want to find out what I do here, you go to the lives and you can see that I am live here at the moment. If you come back to my video section, this is where I launch the actual video. So I record live. I do it because I'm brave. Sometimes I do stuff up and put things on the screen that I shouldn't, and I apologize. And this is me visiting Christopher in a few years' time in prison. We'll be mates. I'll know more about Christopher than he knows, which would be friggin' hilarious. Now, I aren't quite finishing yet. I've actually got more. I'm on a rant today because I might have a today off tomorrow. We will watch this video because if you know Andrew Tate, this is 50 men on 3 cruise ships in Croatia. And there's Tomo. You know, this is called the War Room. Now, as I said earlier on, Christopher, they love cigars. There's Mike. So Christopher was on this ship, and Andrew Tate, for some reason, has nothing to do with Christopher anymore. Well, obviously reasons now, but I want to know from Andrew Tate why he didn't continue his relationship with Christopher. Now, if you want to know where Christopher is, he's going to be going round and round on a jet ski. We watched every inch of this video, and there he is going under with his blue shorts on. That's not him. That's not a girl. She's got a nice bottom, though, just saying. And there's, oh, some more bottoms. There's Chris. There's Chris showing off. But we couldn't find him until we froze right down to that minute, and that was Tomo. And now they all get dressed up, and they get on a ship. Now, get this. Guess where they're going for dinner. This is a prison. This looks like a prison. Looks like an old prison. And there's Tomo. And Mike was standing behind him, which you may have not seen. But if you want to have a look at this video, when I first saw that Andrew Tate was involved, I thought, oh my God, because Andrew Tate to me is like some sort of mafia guy. And I'm thinking, what the heck? Literally. But yeah, it was quite scary. Now they're going back and they're showing the history. You know, the way they've built this is trying to say they've got people. There's Mike. Everything's blurred out. Beautiful meals, and it's the who's who, the who's who. You know, and then they all sit around having the smokes. It just must have been living the dream, eh? Living the dream. They've even got rings, Secret Boys Club, and you get the idea. But anyway, Andrew Tate, please reach out to Danny the Heck. You can find me on Signal. My phone number's all over my website. I might just go here now and see if he wants to message me. Let's go. How do we go? Message Andrew Tate. New message. Passcode. Oh no! If I do that, does that actually? Oh no! Hold up. 518. Start a new chat. What? Andrew. How do you spell Andrew? Andrew Tate. Tate. There it is. Andrew Tate. Go, mate. G'day, mate. I don't know if you know who I am, but I have been investigating, what have we got? Christopher D from GOVI for some time. And he's obviously now been charged for criminal activities by the US government. I have seen him on your video promoting the War Room, and I was wondering why you broke ties with him. Question mark. Feel free to reach out to me. Would be an honor to have a chat. Honor. Try to be polite. Let's go chat. What do I do? Signal. Ooh, right, there we go. Right. Boom. Let's see. Whoops. I don't use chat very much. I don't message, but that's one way of doing it. Let's see if he gets back to me. That would be quite funny, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's the War Room. That's good. And we're getting through it. We showed you the videos. We've showed you Tomo's slippers. We've got more stuff for you guys. Don't disappear yet. We're just getting rid of some of these windows. We've even shown you Vince Garata on the back of a bus. Is that meant to be? That is Chris. Oh my God. I just think that's such a waste. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have, first thing I'll get this warranty deed. Okay, now this is interesting. So we're trying to figure out what this company or who this company is, but the company that actually purchased the building, so the company that actually purchased the building at 189 Orange Street, which I've actually been in, and I'm actually going to show you some stuff because I don't know if people realize what risk I put myself in not a wee while ago. But if you go to my videos and you come down here, you'll see this David and Goliath thing, right? And that's me, and it's Danny and Goliath, if you want to have a bit of a pun on that one. And here I actually gave everyone...
I have no idea where it is.
So first of all, I'm going to give you the speed through. But basically, I got myself ready. The first thing I'm going to do, I've decided that I'm going to go to Florida and check out Goliath Ventures. One thing I am going to miss is my Castle's beer. Right, so basically went, all my journey, I went through to Florida. I dropped into DC first, and I actually set up my office in DC. I'm going to show you that because that was really cool. Got myself a good chair, setting up the lights. So I set up my office in DC so I could continue broadcasting because I was undercover, and I didn't want anyone to know that I was actually in DC. I did see some really cool cars along the way. And then I did go to visit a couple of landmarks. That was amazing. A big thing for me. I haven't been there since 2000. It's a very tall building. And I did meet, I think I've got a photo that might be coming up. I went to the White House, can't see much close up. Better off. Yeah, I had to go there. Donald Trump would be proud of me. And then what I did is I found a nice squirrel as well. He was really cool. Look at this cutie.
Okay, see you later.
He was trying to get my coffee. He held his hand on his heart. Anyway, so I went to America, and then I went, to Florida, and that was really, really nerve-wracking. What's the thing with your airport, though? When you go to pick up your luggage, you realise you're driving away from your luggage?
I'm just going to do, this is
my accommodation.
Hotel room I've ever stayed in. It's even got like...
It was a beautiful accommodation, but in the morning they started using a jackhammer on the roof and I couldn't hear. And I had my studio set up there again to do another live broadcast. And I was literally going to get Channel 9 News, Fox 35, and somebody else, NBC News. I had appointments with them, and I actually did have appointments with all of them except Shannon Butler. I had a phone call with her. And but I talked to a guy, I've forgotten their names now, but Matt from Fox 35, he talked to me. Anyway, but the idea of the room was going to hold media presentations in there, and we reached out to about 7 different media agencies while I was there. But then the room was so noisy, they actually transferred me on the bottom floor, and I got a bigger room. So that was the place I stayed in. And then if I come down through here, this is me in Fox Studio.
35 studios, and I'm just being interviewed at the moment, which is quite cool. So this is my first of many interviews. Hopefully that's going to happen in the next couple of days before I go into my next destination. But if you can see behind there, that's pretty flash. That's the most amazing newsroom I've seen.
I want an office like that.
Apparently it's brand new. All right, guys, see you in the next clip. Well, look here, guys. Here I am inside Fox 35 studios, and I've never seen anything like this before. I thought my wee setup was pretty cool.
Yeah, so I looked around there, then I went to...
Phone numbers, and he's going to make a few calls. Very hard to get over the line with one of these broadcasting stations to do a story.
So funny enough, they didn't want to broadcast it because the first 3 cases that come out were only civil cases, and it was all Nick, his business partner, his ex-business partner, and his person that bought his previous business. So they sort of screwed their nose up on the civil cases, basically saying it's in-house squabbles, and they were right. But then when we had the federal court case landed, which was the best one we saw, it changed things. And then when I got home, 2 days after I got home, we had the criminal complaint by the US government, which really put the nail in the coffin for Christopher. But anyway, what I did do, which you may be a bit surprised, I'm going to show you something here. But we went and checked out the building.
The 18th floor somehow. But we will now go down another floor. Bound to find them. Surely their offices are here somewhere. Whereabouts am I, eh? This is the beautiful $8.5 million buildings. Empty. 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 Nothing happening here. No Goliath Ventures here. No $8.5 million fit out. Here's the plans. The plans.
So there was a lot of, because there was a video that came out about Christopher, and he was claiming that was an $8.5 million building. And that didn't make sense to us. So we started researching the buildings and the previous owner, which was actually Mark. So, yeah, Mark. So this is what we come up with.
We invested $8.5 million in downtown Orlando, purchasing almost 13,000 square feet in the Chase building. And we're excited because it's going to be a hub, not only for our partners to come and enjoy and be with the team.
So that was their claim. And obviously, we'd received a couple of anonymous videos, which I actually used in the video that you just saw from people showing us the inside of the building. And that was the claim. They spent $8.5 million, but the purchase price of that was like 3.2. Didn't make any sense. And as we've just been given, not the back of the bus, not the smoke, we received this warranty deed. And in here, there was an organization that owned that building called Habit HQ LLC. And it was a Wyoming limited liability company. We don't know who that company is. And there was the purchase price of the building. So we're trying to figure out, and we don't know everything, but we do have a good team of Avengers. But why is this warranty deed in the name of Abbott? And the name is actually meant to mean something in a different language. I've got what it means, maybe Susie, but there is a special name that means, which is quite interesting. Anyway, we don't know who that was. So Chris is claiming he owns this building, but it wasn't in Goliath Ventures' name. It was in this name, Abbott. We do know who the company is. We do know who the company is. Thank you very much, Susie. Sometimes I feel like a puppet. Oh, I tell you what, guys, you might think I'm the guy behind the scenes, but we have a team of Avengers, which are just, how do I say, just absolutely amazing. Honestly, what we've accomplished in this Goliath Ventures one, that's why we want to work with victims. We want to help people. We don't want to be, we're not sitting on top of we're not beating our chest going, we were right and you were wrong, but we are. But we're not looking for vindication. We're looking to help investors who are looking for direction. We even help the lawyers who want information. But we just hate these lawyers that do 10 minutes in an investigation and launch a 10-minute investigation, and they launch a class action lawsuit against Goliath Ventures. How lazy is that? When you can see the work and the intel, I could show you the receipts. We've got contracts. We've got the whole 9 yards from every investor that's reached out to us. We've got correspondence. I've got the correspondence from Punic Shore. I call him Punic because it's a P in the union. Punic Shore. I've got correspondence that he's been dribbling along to investors all the way along. So these are contracts that you guys want to know about. And if you can read this. If you're a lawyer, because I know lawyers are watching me right now, thank you very much. It's nice to have you here. Please make sure you donate and help support our channel. But if you want these contracts, we're happy to share them with you. We're not just going to hand over the database. You tell us what you're looking for. We want to help you. That's what we do. So that was quite cool. All right, so that's deed done. Now, you gave me a link. I don't know where this is going to go. It might be yesterday's newspaper, but hopefully there's going to be something here. Goliath Ventures CEO Chris has luxury vehicle watches and necklaces. Now, is it possible that, wonder if that is going to be a video that we can watch on YouTube? Sometimes that's the case. Let's have a look. 1 hour ago. Here we go. Listen.
Our big story at 5:30 tonight. He appeared to be a high-flying businessman, but federal investigators say it was all just a big facade. Now Fox 35 is reading between the receipts when it comes to this alleged Ponzi scheme. We're talking a dozen luxury cars, Rolexes, and lots of other fine jewelry.
Chris Delgado has agreed to surrender a vast collection of luxury.
He's agreed. Oh, thank goodness. Imagine Chris saying, nope, you're not taking my assets. He's agreed. Oh, he's fallen in line. Anyway, just had to stop that for a second.
Items as investigators look into this multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme. Fox 35's Alexis Clevenger joins us live. So, Alexis, what else did you uncover about this case today?
This is going to be good. Let's see what these reporters have managed to find out all by themselves without asking. Now, just bear in mind, I sat down and talked to Matt Tenzi for an hour on camera, and they haven't used any of the footage where I told them a whole lot of stuff so far. So maybe this is the video where I'm actually going to get featured. Who knows? Let's see.
Well, John Luann, Christopher Delgado was
She got it right. Good on you.
Is allegedly living a luxurious lifestyle. According to court documents, he owns numerous fancy cars, designer watches, and jewelry, but now he's got to give all of that up to the federal government.
There's going to be some pretty flashy federal government agents walking around with some rainbow watches on their arm.
Federal prosecutors are working to get dozens of luxury assets from Christopher Delgado. He is the Orlando-based CEO accused of
Hey guys, reach out to me. I've got a whole photo album of Christopher that I can give you guys.
Orchestrating a Ponzi scheme through his company, Goliath Ventures.
Oh my God, they're regurgitating the same stuff. This lady had been communicating with us for months. and wanted to be anonymous. And her name was something Stone, but she was talking to us as Hunter. And then when she come on here, we go, oh, she's used a fake name. People don't want to be publicly named. This lady's a hero. She's good. She's speaking up. You guys need to be heroes as well.
Intelligent people, and we got conned.
Now, just think about what she said. She's an intelligent person. She got conned. Just because you get done by a Ponzi scheme doesn't mean you're not intelligent. I've spoke to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have been conned by scams and Ponzi schemes. They are very intelligent people. You know, it's just the same old playbook every time. So don't think that you're not intelligent because you got scammed. I got scammed once. I renewed my car registration over the phone while I was talking to my mate Rob. And I realized it was a fake email and I've just given out my credit card.
We're both over 65.
Now, good thing about Florida law, I'm sorry to keep interrupting, but I see stuff here and I've got to say, if you steal from retirement people, there's a law where you can get 30 years in prison. Is that correct? Just go back to Bernie made off with all your money. He got 150 years in prison. Now, Christopher has literally gone after retirement money. So he used Matt Burke, which was Black Bloc, and they set up another company called mywealthmd.com. And that company was designed to go after retiree people. Now, the guys that manage that website, and I'm just going to go back to this. So my wealth management, they have literally removed the videos of the two elderly people. Look at this. They've stripped this website right back. We've got those videos. So if you go to here, and this is what Operation Cleanup is about. So all you guys who think that Wealth MD management isn't connected to the Ponzi scheme, you're wrong. So this company, Piers Curry's site, Hello World. Now, that means that this website that was meant to be some state-of-the-art website was built on WordPress. This is a WordPress website claiming to be. So notice how they've stripped this website. You notice all these buttons have gone? And if you come down here, these two people here were elderly people. And they are going after retirement money. The purpose of this company, they said on the video that we have, that they were going after these retirement money. And I don't know if this is going to play, but if it does, we've already got these videos backed up, but they've removed these videos, which is a shame it's not going to play. But that's what I'm saying. So be absolutely amazed. You know, if you look at it like this, I mean, this is just ridiculous. I can't express this enough. So here's a company owned and controlled by Piers Curry. And when you go here today, they've stripped out everything that's going to incriminate them. And then you've got these effing lawyers going after Christopher. Why aren't they going after Piers Curry? Why aren't they going after wealth management doctors? This website, as I've just shown you, is controlled by Piers Curry. Look, Piers Curry website. These guys, we've got contracts where they were white labeling Goliath Ventures contracts and changing it from 2% per month instead of 3% per month, and they were going after that retirement money. I just want you to go through that. Let's carry on listening to this again.
I'm a breast cancer survivor, and my husband's a U.S. veteran, and they conned us.
The feds allege the company collected more than $300 million from people under the false promise that they would be invested in cryptocurrency liquidity pools and would then guarantee low-risk, high returns. The Department of Justice says that did not happen. Instead, the money was allegedly used to pay for early investors, lavish parties and gatherings, and multi-million-dollar homes.
I don't know why they keep featuring this friggin' house. Why don't they go to the one in Ellsworth the State? Can they not get there? I got there. I got in there and drove past that house. The people that helped me, they wouldn't let me get out and take a video because they said it's such a high security house. But why they keep featuring this house? This is the $3.2 million house we thought they bought for the wife. Is that right? Anyway, long story short, yeah.
Homes. Federal authorities say Delgado now needs to give up a long list of high-end property. That includes cars registered to him or Goliath. According to court documents, he had 2 Rolls Royce, a Lamborghini, a Bentley, and a Ferrari. Also on that list, 18 luxury watches and designer
18 watches? Did I miss something?
jewelry, some of which was from Rolex, Tiffany & Co., and
Oh, yes, we've researched this company as well.
Van Cleef. Officials say more assets could be added to that list as the investigation continues.
Well, we've got a few for you because I know the Homeland Security actually watch my videos for tips. Chris's girlfriend's now got herself a lawyer, and she's got a whole fleet of handbags. Some of them are worth $40,000 to $60,000 each. He spent over $1 million on Tay. So it'd be interesting. I might see if she wants to talk to me in a minute. Let's have a look. Okay.
And we know Delgado was released on a $1 million bond, and if he is convicted, he could face a maximum of 30 years in federal prison. Live in Orange County, Alexis Clevenger, Fox 35 News.
All right, so the fun side of that is basically if he was going after old people's money, Bernie Madoff got 150 years, but that was because he went after people's retirement. I'm just going to ring up Tay and see if she'll talk to us. So I don't know if you can hear that ringing. Ask her if she's concerned about her handbags going missing. We should answer. She used to answer me. Did not want to talk to me. No, I did hear she was getting her nails done the other day, literally. Let's just have a quick look and see whether she'll talk to us on Ty. See if she'll talk to us on iMessage. Taya, isn't it? Tay. Tay, there she is. FaceTime. So I'm going to ring her on FaceTime. Sometimes that works. Try call. Okay. See if she talks to us. Calling Tay. She must be like really upset though, because she loved Chris. It's going through a normal phone call. Come on, you want to call in mobile. That's how long it takes to connect from one mobile to another when calling America. I actually do have it on a speed dial, but it's not working.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hey, g'day Tay, it's Danny D. Heck here. What I would like to do is, I'm not going to sing happy birthday to Chris, but I would actually like to, what am I trying to say? I would actually like to say, you're going to be loyal to Chris. Like you said, he's a good guy, and I think that's really nice. But I reckon what would be really exciting if, when you go and visit him in prison, if you could send me a photo, would be really cool. And also, if you could play him the happy birthday song on his birthday, because he'll be looking forward to that every year. And are you still going to be with him when he gets out in 30 years' time? Because you're really loyal, I can understand your loyalty. Let me know. I'd love to talk to you. And if you want to be interviewed on my show, I welcome that as well. Look forward to hearing from you. Oh, I'm no mean. That's a big meanie, isn't it? Right. So that's basically that done, I think. So we've done pretty cool there. We've got luxury cars. So there was I think that whole article there lists 18 watches. Now, I didn't pick up the 18 watches. 5 Tiffany necklaces and pendants, 7 pairs of designer handcuffs. Who the hell would want those? 12 bracelets, 2 pairs of Louis Vuitton diamond earrings. Is that a brooch? What's that?
Brooch.
A brooch. Diamond encrusted Goliath branded ring. Well, that's never going to sell. So here's all the cars. Oh, they've done a good job. Maybe did. Oh, there it is there. Oh, there it is. So that's it. You can read it there. Who is Christopher? Do they mention me? Bet they don't mention me. Don't know why they don't mention me. Goliath, Fox. Look, the Sentinel's my favourite at the moment. The Source, the Orange County confirmed the Christopher. That's it. Oh, well, there you go. I wonder who made the ring. Yeah, I wonder that as well. So, look, I've got to go for a run, but there is something I want to show you guys, and I'm just going to see if I can. Yeah, it is. All right, so burger. I want to see if I can. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this down, and this is something that we'll go through another day, but I want to show you, I just want to show them that we actually have this video. They removed this video off the internet so that we couldn't see it. And here's Christopher. And he's talking about how he got fired from In-N-Out Burger.
Actually, episode 3 in the What Drives You series. I feel like I start off these podcasts every time the exact same way in terms of me saying we have a very special guest. But we really do have a very special guest today. And I'm very excited to let you introduce yourself. But before we do that, I'm going to introduce you and I have a super funny story to tell you guys that has to do with our guest. So our guest, Chris Delgado, thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Anytime. So to get right into it, Chris Delgado and his wife, Andy Delgado, are clients of mine. So I originally started training his wife, Andy, I want to say about 2 months now, yeah?
Yeah, like late November, early December.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
just over 10 out the whole
in all aspects of your life.
into that today because Chris
And grow them or run in the slums of California on that income today.
for sure.
So at that time it was, it was decent, still lower middle class, I would say. But my dad did everything he can to provide for us.
Interview people like him, it really
And, we would wake up every Saturday, even though that's not really a bragging thing. People get sick. Theater was a spot to
I
work.
can see that. So you've got a pretty poppin' job back then.
There was a force working against me that he could tell there's an alternate.
The burgers.
I'm looking for a certain part.
You went from flipping burgers to I can't wait to tell everyone where you're at now. But wow. How incredible.
Yeah.
Is that?
So in a year working with In-N-Out, at 17, I surpassed, my brother had been there for almost 7 years. I surpassed my brother in promotions within 1 year, and I was offered a full-time position, which to get full-time in the store, like working actually in the store, you had to be there at least 5 to 10 years before you even were offered to be full-time. So in a year, I was given 6 promotions. So I was actually my brother's boss for a short period of time, or at least a higher level of him. And then I was full-time as well. So, I excelled. And one of the last positions before you go into management is flipping burgers. That's the amazing. Highest you can get.
And I have to add, I think we've been at this podcast for 15 minutes now. In these 15 minutes, anyone listening can tell the one trait, the one characteristic that you've had since the beginning is you give your all no matter what it is, whether it's mowing the lawn, whether it's
stealing,
working at a movie theater, whether it's flipping burgers, right? You put pride into your job. And that's probably the biggest thing anyone could take from this podcast, at least as of now, right? Is it doesn't matter if you feel your job's insignificant, just give it your all because that can only move you up the ladder no matter what it is.
You have to look at this like everyone where you start has the same job. So everyone's doing the same. So what
we're looking for
that puts a lot of
is the part where he claims that he got fired from In-N-Out Burgers for stealing.
They hire. Like they actually are happy to
that the food was never mishandled. I don't eat at McDonald's, but sometimes at 3 a.m, there's a McDonald's run.
Listen, I have no shame. Me too.
But you can always question.
How long did you work at In-N-Out?
Here we go.
I worked there for 8 years.
8? Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. 8 years. Okay, so where did you transition to after your 8 years of, I was about to say Chick-fil-A, of In-N-Out?
I went to go work for a guy his name is Tom Ferry. He's the #1 real estate coach in the United States.
And how did that come about?
That in itself. So with working for In-N-Out, I worked in the store for about 4 to 5 years.
Here we go.
And then through volunteering, giving extra time, I was personally involved in all the charities, corporate charities and personal charities.
See where he learned his trade, everyone?
Of In-N-Out. I was offered a job in corporate in the travel and events department, basically. and they put on all the employee incentives, a lot of the internal marketing, kind of all the stuff that kind of keeps the employees engaged, and the managers and executives as well. So I worked in that department for about 3 years, and not too many people know this, but I was actually one of the best in my job.
Really? And you got
by
fired?
Far, every store manager loved me. Every store manager knew my name. Every executive knew my name just because I went above and beyond.
They don't want to comment on record now.
What we could do and set for them. But I was actually fired from my position.
No way.
Yeah. AEG, who at the time owned Staples Center, offered me free tickets to go see Adele. Sold out concert, biggest client of mine. And I accepted the tickets. Didn't know it was against company policy.
Oh.
And new HR lady comes in, finds out that I took these tickets, finds out that I took my wife. And 2 months later, August of 2016, I went to the concert. October 19th, I want to say, or 13th, I was fired.
What the heck?
And when they asked me about the concert tickets, I didn't lie or try to hide it. I said I was offered these tickets, and I went, yes. And they reassured my answer. They said, so you're admitting to taking the tickets? I said they were gifted to me. There's no company policy.
Gifted to the company.
So yes. And I was suspended for 2 days. And the minute I knew I was fired was I had a company phone and my email was locked out. And I was at home. I think it was like the first day I was suspended. My email got signed out of my company phone. And I went to my wife and I said, I'm probably getting fired tomorrow.
You would think they give you a warning or something.
I've been there 8 years. All the execs loved me. It was a new HR, and I could have fought it. I'm sure I could have fought.
Oh, Chris is a victim. He got fired from In-N-Out Burgers, a hamburger flippy joint, and he gets fired from there. Now, that video that you're watching there, we went back to find that video, and it had been removed off the internet by Alex, because this is Alex's podcast. And we put a call out to people for any one that may have that video, and these turned up in my inbox. Thank you to that person. You're a hero. These will be featured in a later date. And I just want to thank people who actually help us with this evidence trail. Here's a guy that got fired from In-N-Out Burger. We've been saying it for a long time. Here he is on camera admitting that he stole tickets to an Adele concert, and then he didn't contest it. And here's Alex sitting here, who's his personal trainer, now driving around in a Lamborghini. Look, I'm going to leave it there today because I do a 5K run, and I've got 40 minutes to get myself into the running gear. I've got a 20-minute electric cycle into the town, and then I'm going to go and do something for myself. I went to sleep last night at 4 a.m. in the morning because this is consuming me, and it's consuming my Avengers. Now, the reason we do this isn't for personal selfish gain. We do it because we're sick and tired of these mother people defrauding people. And if you think for a minute that these partners aren't guilty, the guy that was on the very video, Alex, has been fired by Christopher because when he went to some holiday, he forgot to pack Chris's jacket. And Chris fired Alex. But they made up, and he rehired him. Alex is a personal trainer, now driving around in a Lamborghini because of ill money. Now, you aren't meant to accuse people of crimes unless you had evidence. I wouldn't sit here on a YouTube channel with my Avengers saying that these partners are the criminals. I wouldn't, if you say that we've got 18 people that we believe have taken off with at least anything from $3 to $7, $8 million. And if you're going to listen to a lawyer telling you that he's just going to go after Christopher and Goliath Ventures, and literally on a Zoom meeting that I watched yesterday, he claimed that they won't go after the partners, then you need to find yourself a new lawyer. In 2 days' time, we will be running a meeting, and we're asking you, the investor, to come on to the meeting with us. There will be a link in the chat room now, and it's called Join. You can click on that link, and you can try it, test it, get yourself set up right, put a pair of headphones on, keep your camera off. I don't want to see your face. I don't need to see your face. We're not here to publicly humiliate anybody, but let us hear your voice. Let us hear the sound of someone who's who's trying to come to terms with losing a lot of money. Because we want people to see the detrimental effects that these scumbags have had on your life. We're here for the victims. Hand on heart, we're not here to manipulate you push you into a corner. We're here to help you. And we've got a lot of knowledge that has been unutilized at the moment. And we're willing to share it with anybody. We don't want bad news out there. We don't want misleading information. We know what's really going on, and we're willing to share it. I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to go out for a 5K run and enjoy some R&R. Thank you to all my Avengers, and you know who you are. I love you all. I really do. And I'm looking forward to when we get together and celebrate one of the biggest exposures of a Ponzi scheme scam that hit Florida and Canada. These guys aren't going to get away with us. We're away with it. We're going to stop them. See you in the next video, guys.